At the tone, please record your message.
back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is the longest stream we've done this week so far, so buckle up. It's June 25th, 2025. Egg 2, the long-awaited sequel for Egg, finally arrives at your doorstep. Please, it's fragile. It's an egg. Boiled to perfection. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're well. We've been doing all right, all things considered. I want to explain what happened yesterday because it was frustrating, and we've been going through a bit of a week here in Montreal, so it's hot out. It's really, really hot out. In fact, so hot, it's record-breakingly hot. Boiled to perfection is actually entirely accurate. I'm going to show you a little chart here from the Montreal Trudeau Airport. So this is a government website that tracks temperature because that's their job. Yesterday, it was 35.2 degrees Celsius. This is the hottest it's been in Montreal since 1964, I believe. 35.2 C in American is 95 degrees. This ain't Florida. Like, we're pretty far up north as things go. Like, you know where to put Montreal. You generally go north to go to Montreal. Out of majority of people, they go there. So it's really hot. But this number is not even the full truth. This is with the humidex, because Montreal's on an island, so it's surrounded by water. The humidex went up to 44. That means with humidity, it feels as a human like it's 44 degrees Celsius. What's that in American? It's like 111. It's 111 degrees. It's abysmal. Hopefully you're doing well if you're feeling this. But what we ran into over the last day, and the day before that too, is that it gets so hot, specifically now, and because of people's extended use of, air conditioning, all that sort of stuff, but also just the wiring gets so hot, is that we kept tripping breakers. So the air conditioning would be on, the computer would be on, the lights, the camera would be on. Obviously my partner's in the other room with a fan, bless her, because the door is closed, so she's not getting the air conditioning right now. And we just kept losing power. It would just like break, flip the breaker. We'd have to reset it. And so we lost power 3 times during the stream, including 5 minutes in of our fantastic stream Egg yesterday. And so we just called it a day. That wasn't the last time we lost power. So far, we haven't lost power today, knock on wood. It's a bit cooler today and it'll be cooler tomorrow. But just so you understand what's been happening, we are literally incapable of streaming. It has been too hot to do technology. It's absurd. Best viewers, hold on one second. I'll destroy this. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're staying cool. It's been really weird around here. Banned. Your forehead's so shiny. I'm sorry it's so hot. No, so my forehead is shiny. I'm actually like totally dry, not greasy, not sweaty, but I don't have the studio lights on. So normally there's a light back there that lights kind of my back, and then there's a light there that gives me a fill light. None of that's on right now. So instead I have the window open over there, and I have this like cheap LED light on top of my camera that's a bit higher. So it's making me a bit like glowy and not as nice because most of the light is landing exactly here, and there's a lot of real estate there to work with. So yeah, it's definitely a look, but I'm actually like totally comfortable right now. The air conditioning is right back there, and it's like 18 degrees in here. So it's been bad. How's everyone doing? The humidity's been sapping the life out of me. We've been getting so much rain here in ND. I am assuming that is North Dakota. Yeah, the humidity is quite bad. We had to go out on Tuesday, or no, Tuesday. Yesterday also was like, it's a Quebecois national holiday, so like everyone's off, which means like you're expected to go out to the parks and do all these things in public, but the streets were totally empty. It was very, very, very quiet yesterday because it's just way too hot. So yeah, it's been bad. That's the hottest it's been in like what is it, 60 years. It's not good. So please don't be this hot when cons happen. I mean, it will probably be kind of hot. Like August is usually hot, but it won't be that hot. If we have an early autumn, like sometimes August can be like September weather, but it'll be the end of August. So I'm hoping for the best. How's everyone doing? Sundar, and you do anything cool on the weekend? Hot enough to cook an egg. Yeah, I want to shout this out. This is really funny. So we did the stream yesterday. I left it on for a while. I didn't like hide it. It's now currently unlisted. I decided to pull it down because it's very confusing, but the comments are really damn funny. A high quality stream as always. May we all be offered an egg in these trying times. Using this timer for hard boiling my eggs. Just some very funny stuff. So shout out to everyone who watched the 5-minute egg stream yesterday and was confused. We just literally got like 5 minutes in and we lost power. And then it was like the 3rd time. I'm like, we have no shot here. I'm surprised you left it listed. Me too. I thought it was really funny to leave it listed for a bit because people were interacting with it and it genuinely made me laugh. And I'm like, okay, now it's unlisted, which is an issue because apparently this stream, it will just like sync to whatever the last settings your previous stream was. So this stream went live unlisted, which is why if you watch on Twitch, there's a bit of like a weird gap in the middle where we lost feed and I had to restream the stream. So this is the 2nd time we're launching the stream today. With that out of the way, let me catch up on chat. We had a stream bot issue, so if I might have missed some of the earlier, messages. I wrote a deck list about it called Ode to Nationals. I think it's on recent deck list. I did read through that. It was very cute. I hate water from Cat. Weaver Marquez, how's it going? Also, hey Cat. It's very hot here too. Yeah, I imagine it is just about everywhere. I don't know if we have it worse than y'all, which would make very little sense, but I think everyone's having the heat wave, and it's trying to cool down over the next couple days. Please stay hydrated, y'all. Yeah, definitely do. There's no way around it. I had my first coffee yesterday in a couple weeks, and I totally went fine. I know I've been like doing Andre's gut update. So far, it's been really good, actually. And I actually ended up talking to my mom, who said that her mom had these sort of issues, and it's usually related to ulcers because of stress. There is no history of celiac, so it's unlikely that sort of stuff. So I've been just trying to be a bit more chill, hard with the weather, and slowly getting myself back to eating all the food I normally eat. So it's been pretty good. But yeah, apparently I'm just anxious and stressed, and that's like destroying my stomach. Hey Daniel, how's it going? Since you're in Canada, have you ever tried Crokinole? Is it fun? Yeah, very much Crokinole. I have ended up buying like 3 Crokinole boards in my life. Not a sponsored stream, but shout out to Muzzies in Nova Scotia. Yeah, I think it's in Nova Scotia. I've got all my boards from Muzzies. It's one guy who makes boards on the east coast of Canada. They're really, really good. My board is over there. I'm not going to grab it because it's heavy and it's behind some stuff, but we play it regularly. And then I bought from Muzzies a board for my sister and her husband for a housewarming gift. And then all of us bought a board for my parents, who also really like it. So they have a board at home too. But as a Canadian, it's very much a pride. But Crokinole is just kind of incredible. I know when I've gone to multiple Netrunner events, especially if they're like at houses, like last year at Cabin Runner, there were I think Izzy brought, I forgot who brought, I think Izzy brought her Crokinole board. Like, Crokinole is great. If you haven't played Crokinole, it is very hard to oversell it. It doesn't look that good, and then you play it and it's just like so damn fun. It is so Moorish. You just want to keep doing it and getting better. It's a fun team game. We mostly play 2v2, which you sit across from your partner. Cannot recommend it enough. And Muzzies just does really good boards. They're expensive because they are like heirloom wood pieces. Oh yeah, this is more than I paid back in the day. But yeah, just like the I think I have the Melbourne tournament board, but I think I paid less than that. But that was like 5 years ago maybe. So that's how things go. But they last for a lifetime, so they're very, very quite good. And I'm going to hang it on the wall over there. But I have some other stuff. I need to figure out how to put this into a wall because it's really heavy. Crokinole's awesome. I love this game. Yeah, very cool. Gail, how's it going? It is an old Canadian thing. I think it started in Ontario around Guelph, I believe. But for those who don't know, it's a disc flicking dexterity board. Yeah, from designers Eckhart Wetflower from Ontario, Canada. I think it's around Guelph, so like middle Ontario. And it's been a game since, I want to say, the mid 1800s. Not a lot of people know about it. Like, if you ask the average Canadian, so Crokinole, they won't know what you're talking about. But those who do, they know. And Shut Up and Sit Down obviously was a huge thing about it. In fact, when I like reached out to Muzzies, who like makes you the board, his response was, we had a YouTube video 3 years ago and I'm still on backlog making boards for Crokinole. I'm like, oh, I know that video. I've seen that video. But that was like 2-3 years after the Shut Up and Sit Down video came out. And the guy was still like backlogged because there was this like renewed interest in Crokinole across the whole world. Very, very cool. We have the Europe stream today. Actually, how's it going? I haven't watched the last podcast. How are you doing? Hey, Warlock Egg 2, congratulations on your eternal win this weekend. Crokinole is amazing. This is a sort of token flicking dexterity game. My friend's family build these, and they flick them so hard it's dangerous to be in the room. It's fun. I've never seen anyone get hurt, but the idea is like you have a hole in the center, and then there's these lines. So when you shoot, you have to put your little puck on the back quadrant, so it has to be touching that back line. And then either, if you have a clean shot, you have to flick, just kind of like a basic flick from the back line, and then ideally in the center it's worth 20 points. If it stays in the middle ring, of which there are like 8 different pegs, metal pegs usually with rubber, that's worth 15 points. Then outside ring is 10, then 5, and then the gutter is nothing. And then you each have 12 pieces, or 6 pieces if you're playing 2 players, I think. And that's mostly it. And if your opponent has pieces on the table, you have to hit their pieces. Otherwise, your shot is not legal. So obviously on turn 1, you have a clean shot straight for the middle if you're a goat. But otherwise, your opponent will hit a piece. It'll end somewhere here. And then you have to hit their piece and ideally knock that off while putting yours in. It's kind of like curling, kind of like bocce, same fundamentals. And it's very, very satisfying. Very, very cool. This is curling on tabletop? Yeah, I think that's accurate. Or like bocce on tabletop. There's no like sweeping like curling, but it's the same idea of like, you know, throw your little baton and get it closer to the center that they can, and they want to knock yours out. Very, very fun. Very, very, very fun. Hey Spoot, talking about my favorite game ever, Crokinole. Yeah, I don't know if you're Canadian or not, but it is a cultural thing here. There's no heat here in the UK up north at all. We'll stay frosty. Loading ready run, but also does regular Crokinole streams. Hey David, oh it's cool. I know nothing about that. I think it's like as a spectator for if hold on one second. Yeah. Oh no way. Who told you? Oh, is it the one that we think it is? Oh, Maddie just interrupted to let us all know that the X-File Lego set has finally been pushed out as she is celebrating in the other room, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Crokinole is like kind of fun to watch. I don't know if I've actually watched like professional Crokinole or like high level Crokinole, which is still like people at a gymnasium who've shown up to be in the national championship and they're just like sinking it in the center over and over again. What's going on with Crokinole talk? Are you going to do a Crokinole stream with a new setup? I mean, I could. It's not that hard. You just drop the board in. I think the table's relatively level. I haven't considered it, but I don't know if it's a great spectator sport. All right, let me catch up a bit on chat. Glad to see you online, and thanks for the update on the health. Okay, David, fantastic. Crokinole is great because it's one of the few games where the worse people are at it, the more fun it is to watch, and vice versa. I'm really bad at pool or snooker or whatever other people call it, but I feel like I'm bad at it because the base action is very difficult for me to deliver consistently, where it's like, oh, it's finally your turn to hit the thing with the cue, and I just like obviously biff it, and I hit the white ball, it doesn't do the thing I wanted to do, and it's a mess, and I never feel smart. But the ability to flick a thing with your finger in Crokinole is like so relatively accessible. Obviously, the accessibility could be a problem there for some, but it's so like very quickly can you do something that feels like you did it intentionally or something cool happens, as opposed to like pool, where I have played dozens of games of pool in my life and have always felt like that was the worst game of pool I've ever played because I'm bad at it. Yeah, Crokinole is Canadian for sure. Keiko, how's it going? Yesterday's stream was fun in its own way, though. Hope you're coping with the heat, though. So far, we haven't lost power. If the stream just leaves at some point, it's because 100% we just lost power for a second. Well, I understand the plot if I didn't see Egg 1. It's like kind of standalone. But there is some like callbacks to the first one that I think if it's like worth watching twice. So like I wouldn't say that you should watch Egg 1 first, but I would watch Egg 1 after and then rewatch this. How's it going, by the way, Yeti? Upcoming Netrunner card, Crokinole inspired console. All right. I honestly didn't know exactly what I was going to be doing on Tuesday. There's a bit of like tournament recapping to be done because there's a bunch of big tournaments across the weekend. We had an APAC mega city. We of course had Canadian mega cities as well. There's probably some other stuff that I'm not too plugged in about. There was the Eternal event, the like fly to EMEA Eternal equivalent, the shipment to Cologne, maybe it was called. Egg One is an instant classic. The thing with Crokinole is I feel like my fingernail will fall off. Maybe it's a technique thing. Yeah, it depends. If you're like really, you can hurt yourself for sure. So you need to find somewhere in between that's not as percussive, but that's still like a pushing force. Electric Boogaloo. Hey Joel, how's it going? Make a trick shot V2 slightly powered down, but just as fun. Eternal was really sick. Was it streamed, Axu? Because I just saw Warlock's like winning list, and one of them was just like, oh yeah, CI is still around. And then the other one was the sort of expected Shaper Doom Rig engine, which is good. Emily, what was Egg 1? Egg 1 was a stream yesterday. It was pretty well regarded, despite its runtime. Unfortunately, at this point, it has been delisted, and it's because of a DMCA. I've had issues recently with eggs.ca, the Canadian egg website. They've been pretty litigious, and so at this point, I think we have distinguished ourselves enough that I'm not too worried about their legal pursuit. But the quinoa salad is actually pretty good with tahini dressing. I love the idea that it's someone's job to be a copywriter for the eggs website for the Canadian or for, yeah, the Canadian government. I'm actually not pretty sure they're governmental. I think they're just like an eggs group. But I've been to eggs.ca a fair bit more than I think the average person. I never remember how long you're meant to like boil eggs for. And so I always go to eggs.ca because they have to be the leading expert in Canada in the field. I've also been eating a lot of eggs recently. They're trying to copyright eggs? Michael, you think they couldn't do it, but they've spent a lot of time. Like this brand icon, this logo, there's no way that they did that for less than $1 million. It's like perfect. You got a bit of happy face in there. You got the egg yolk, but it's not perfect because eggs are natural, right? If this was perfect, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of weird. It's clinical. Get cracking, funny, but also like motivating. I just think that there's a lot of good thing to be said about eggs.ca. Quick meals, you know? Really slow egg meals. Arduous to make egg meals. Crokinole tournament side event at Worlds. Let's go. How's it going, Chenchling? I hope that the stream has literally nothing to do with Oko. It's just called Egg for no reason. I think at this point we could maybe do some other stuff. I really wanted to play Laura's List, the LEO deck. I think that would be pretty fun. All of the Eternal Top Cut is worth watching. Great games overall. Warlock, where are they? How do I watch them? Has Metropole finally found a way to make eggs interesting to play? Disc, if you don't think Alco is interesting to play, I don't know what you're doing. That was way more of an attack than it probably should have been. But like Alco is actually really fun to play. It is really interesting. You're making decisions. You have a fuse. You're going very fast. You're generally like manipulating and dealing with multiple win conditions, or like multiple resources that are your win condition. Like what cards are face down in archives. What can your opponent do based off of how they're playing around? Like it is hella cool. It is also like massively messed up powerful compared to some of the other stuff we've got in the set, and frustrating, and does produce some non-games. Like it snowballs really bad. But it is cool. Like, what has to be said about Alco? There's some cool stuff too. Alco is uninteresting because it's clearly the best deck in the format. That hasn't been proven to be the case, but it's very, very good. And I think a lot of top cuts are like at least a quarter Alco, which is maybe concerning. It's on Utati's Twitch or Off1515's YouTube, both linked in my runner list. Oh, sick. Okay, hold on. Thank you, Warlock. Ah! Where is link? Replays. Replays? Oh, here. You can find the VOD and the whole thing with Utati's lovely commentator here or here. Massive thank to Off15, Lovelace, and Utati for organizing. Very cool. So one of them is a link on Twitch. So you can watch that. I'll link this in the description. I am scared, and Sandarin, if you're listening to this, you need to take a second to download the videos off of Canadian Nationals and just get the hard copies before they leave, because you won't have them on Twitch forever, and then it'll be lost, and they'll feel really, really bad. And then the other one is on Off15 on YouTube. Cool, look at that little animation. That's wait, there's legit Eternal cards in there. That's really fun. That's very, very cool. Good old screensaver. And then this is here too. That's sick. Off1515, 4 subscribers. Okay, let's go. 5. Where do I do that? I would always have to check, but generally when you go to your content, there should be like a drop down button here when you go to your video, and one of them should say download. Mine's don't say download because I'm not Utati, but there should be a way to download it. You want to grab it sooner than later, because otherwise then you don't have it. I'm not sure if it'll limit you the quality you can download it because you're not an associate or affiliate or partner, whatever the words they use, but definitely grab it because it will not stay for longer than 2 weeks, I don't think, unless your channel is of a certain size. Excuse me, I am snorking into the microphone. Hey Jam, yeah, weird Wednesday stream. Hopefully you're doing well. Didn't plan for this to happen. All these years we were terrified of WotC suing us. The real villain was a Canadian egg industry group all along. I mean, they're a good villain. If I want to be upset at anyone, it's going to be eggs.ca. They've been nice. Because like Hoshiko, good idea pushed by strong faction cards, which makes the idea feel more broken than it is. I don't know if I fully agree with that, David. I think there's like sentiments, parts of that sentiment I would agree with. I think at the end of the day, it's just like very hard to do Generalist Anarch because Hoshiko just does it better. Like it's kind of the Haley problem we had back in the day, and I'm a bigger fan of Haley, I feel like, than Hoshiko because I like installing cards. But it is like very hard to build a weird deck and not just say it's strictly better in Hoshiko or in Haley. I don't think that's the case with Alco. Whether you could say the Alco deck is strictly better than another deck, I just don't think it's the only deck like this you should play, right? It's still very good, and I think the thing that we're seeing is like we're starting to see like mid-range Glacier decks and scoring decks, and like, you know, Alco seems to support a lot. So maybe I'll be wrong about that, but I do think there is a bit of a difference there. I think Hoshiko, oh my god, so we're gonna get to this in a second when we go through replay analysis, or tournament analysis, I guess, like recapping of the meta. A lot of the best Hoshiko decks right now are playing 0 new cards. 0 new cards functionally. Like they're playing Dirty Laundry 2.0, they're playing Croter 0.5, but a lot of the Hoshiko decks are playing literally 0 new cards in the format. And while that's not like 100% a concern, that's probably not good. And I do think that has to be addressed at some point. So I'm really excited for the upcoming ban list. But yeah, the Hoshiko decks are like entirely the same deck that we've been playing for like 4 years. No changes, no new cards. And that can't be too surprising. Like Elevation doesn't have a lot of flashy cards in it. It has a lot of fundamentals. And if anyone has fundamentals, Hoshiko has fundamentals. And Hoshiko is going to continue to fundamental all over the place. Hey, Pat. I streamed my Mega City POV as well. It's involved a judge call in real time. Oh, I didn't get to watch it. I just watched Jai. I got to watch the last 2 games in bed. But I always am a Jai stream watcher if I can make it make sense. But I did not watch the whole thing yet. Again, for those who don't know, it's youtube.com. I think he has the vanity gyroscopic, probably. Maybe there's an @ Yeah. Yeah, you can watch it. Again, hey, Jai, I'm saying this to everyone who will listen. Go into your YouTube front page and go to the customize and add a tab for your live. Because if people go to jai.com, like I have kind of recommended to do, they don't see your live streams at all. They have to click on this tab, and nobody does that. So it's incredibly important that you add your live streams to your front page. So you just say add live and it goes there. Because this Mega City Finals, and shout out Jai won the whole event, it turns out. So it's a really fun ride to watch, as much as I watched only the end. Oh, it's cool. It's its own video too. Sick. Let me catch up. Snork. Don't let your latest outcode decks beef and beef good. Don't name your latest outcode decks. Hey, Steven, recently got elevation. Watching yours and Jeff's tier list video gave me a Netrunner itch again. Excited to dip back in. Welcome back in. It's a really exciting time. Obviously the format's the smallest it's ever been, so it's incredibly approachable. So if you were in the game for a while, it should be easy to pick things back up. But there's a lot of tournaments going on this summer. Shout out to Canadian or America's Continentals, and just a couple months we're running. But hopefully you've been doing well. I'm doing okay, Dave. Also, hopefully you're doing well. Outcode, but you have to spend 2 counters if you have them. Would be interesting. I don't know, maybe, but I think the choice of when not to use them is also interesting. Like, you're removing the choice. In some ways, that can make it more interesting. I hear you. The only boring runner ID in Ashes was Az. I mean, that feels like it's trying to be inflammatory towards me on purpose. But, I mean, Az is my favorite runner from the Ashes cycle. Whose fault is that there we printed card 2.0? Hey Paul, I missed yesterday's stream, but is it not available on the channel? Yeah, I delisted it. We streamed for like 5 minutes. We kept losing power. I don't know if you've been having the problem, but our breakers keep flipping because it gets too hot. And so we lose power across the whole apartment, and then the stream goes down, and that's what happened. All right, let's look at some tournament results. I don't know how we were meant to structure this. There's a couple things going on. If we go to results this weekend, there were a couple good events. So firstly, there was the APAC Online Mega City Championships that had 35 players. That started Friday night for us, and then it had a top cut. I believe it was a top 8, I want to say, on maybe it was a top 4. I think it was a top 8. Double elimination on technically Saturday evening. There was the Vancouver Mega City, which was out east, 31 players as well. A bit unfortunate that the APAC Online Mega City Online was the same time as the Vancouver Mega City, because there's a bunch of players that probably would have played it both, but scheduling is very difficult. That definitely happens. I think those are the 2 big ones that I want to shout out, as much as there's other stuff going on for sure. So let's look at APAC Online. The charts are kind of skewing a bit. I think we got out of the gate with a lot of criminal representation in this meta, and now it's sliding very much towards Hoshiko, and I think rightfully so. So yeah, my guess is that the top cut, actually Sable's still doing well, but like Hoshiko's also doing well, but of course Sable is converting a bit more. I feel like Glad has been entirely replaced by Maggie, and people are just not playing Lat anymore, and I'm assuming the Shapers in the top cut, well, 1 Maggie and 1 Lat, so Lat is holding on for sure. And then we're seeing this color pie here, which is pretty skewed and kind of weird. Nobody wants to be playing HB at this point, and nobody wants to be playing NBN unless they're exclusively playing Nebula, and Nebula decks are still converting. We saw some Nebula decks do well at Vancouver Mega Cities, and then at the top cut, it's just 2 colors. My guess that this is Op or New Vank, sick. And then we have Aoko followed by an Iswak. Was Wenjong playing here? Yeah, Wenjong is playing. Okay, so that tracks. And then we have probably Built to Last and Op. Okay. I think we saw the weekend before that Op was actually the larger part of the wheel here. Nuvem did quite well. I don't think Jai was playing Nuvem. In fact, Jai was definitely not playing Nuvem in this, but a lot of people I saw during the stream were playing very Jai-coded Nuvem lists, and they're doing pretty well. So in terms of like that Wayland to mid-range push forward, I think there's an argument whether you think Built to Last or Nuvem does it better or more consistently, but I haven't seen proof so far that either of them does it better than the other. I do want to shout out that Basalt Spire is just definitely a messed up card in general. And it is causing, I wouldn't say some non-games, but as soon as one is scored and you're immediately on threat 4 and they grab that the what's it called back, the one that does 4 damage, the bad one, the measured response. That's where the game gets really messed up. And then when they get the counters on this, there's a lot of creativity that they can do with their slash and burns, with their measured responses, with their nano managements. It's an incredibly powerful card. I don't think I've seen too many like super non games where somebody runs and on turn 2 they're suddenly on threat 4 and they just die, because that can happen. 10 credits doesn't seem to be that bad. It's functionally only you need 8 credits to double measured when you're playing Nuven, because you can make the 2 credits back. But that has been a problem to deal with for sure. But Nuven seems like it's working pretty well. I think we can pull the data in really quickly. Shout out to the Maker's Eye to just take a quick look. There's one guy called Jai who caused a wave of Nuven. Yeah, I've been enjoying that Nuven list too. It's been really quite fun. That doesn't work. Why? Oh, because we have to grab it from Cobra. Right. Hold on. I should have seen that coming. Hold on. I can fix this too. I'm kind of like a hacker. So will this be here? 8-pack online, Mega City, Vancouver. Okay. So we'll grab 8-pack. We'll pull it in here. I didn't realize they rotated NBN and HB entirely. It just about feels like it, doesn't it? How's it going, Zen? Nuven good. Hey, wacko. I was talking to one of my local players who plays HB almost exclusively, and he's been struggling since Elevation. Yeah, I think HB, like, there's definitely HB builds that make sense. I think right now the HB Agenda Suite is like the most limiting thing by a mile. It's really bad. The 5-3 slot being as bad as it is kind of rough. And I think it really pushes you towards like playing some sort of LEO or PD equivalent. But I don't think that's a place you want to be when the field is incredibly criminal. That has died down a bit. And I do think like jamming an HB can do something against Mag and go fast enough, which is nice. And the Hosh matchup is, as you know, this kind of the same it's been in a long time. But yeah, looks at who's winning. Looks like the Lat deck, of which there's only one player. Is that correct? Was doing really well. The Zaya, the Basilisk, the Moosely Hot decks are doing fine. Sable's underrepresenting. Hosh's win rate still just like kind of crawling through there with 52%. But it looks like if there's one faction, which is the least presented faction, the faction that seems to be winning the most of the games, the top cut here didn't kind of do it. Oh no, that's actually like representation in the top cut, right? Yeah. Is Shaper is winning. Actually, Lat isn't. How do you win that? Read this. Yeah, win rate 50%. The right side is representation. So yeah, a lot of players made the top cut. So that's conversion rate, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of a mess, I guess. If we go to the cut, that's the graph above. Fantastic. So we can just get rid of this, and this is just strictly win rate. So not too much to say there. Moosely Hot. Great. Only 3 games. This is the corp representation. Let's look at some corp win rate stuff. Fucking Ampere's on that graph, and Ampere is doing pretty good there with his little data size it got, but an Ampere player is winning more often than not is pretty slick. But it looks like everybody's doing relatively well besides the BTL player, and one of the BTL players, 20 games. Okay, so there's BTL players. One of the BTL players made the top cut, but like, yeah, Nuven's doing fine, Auco is doing fine. We're looking at the 57-58, which is above the corp win rate overall. Corp win rate overall, it was, I'm assuming that's somewhere written here. Isn't that at the top usually? Yeah, 58-58, so it's a 50-50%. Okay. Neat. Zwicky hasn't been doing anything at tournaments. Zwicky seems to be doing okay. There's only one Zwicky player, it seems like. And then you can see the sort of like conversion tables, which, yeah, it looks like Hosh is really struggling against Nuven, and I'm not too surprised. I feel like dealing with big log jams is hard. You don't naturally have the tech to not die to double measured, and I do think Stone Chip is pretty common there. Nuven seems to be failing a bit against Sable, so run-based criminal, but there's just not a lot of data. It's not the biggest event to like really glean too much from. But Hosh is just like eating BTL, doing well against Auco, getting that compressed card draw is good, but the data at all other points is like really hard to extract anything from. Pretty neat. How is a 1-on-1 player for Lat resulting in like 87.5% conversion? No idea. I have no idea what this number means, because I'm assuming it'd be 100% conversion, but that's I think that's relative to the field. So you're meant to be using a different, it's not meant to be 75%. You're meant to be using the right side axis. So it's basically saying that this was 4.38% more represented than expectation or something along the lines. Bigger number is better. But yeah, you want to look at the other axis, because it's a 2-axis graph, which is a hard thing to figure out sometimes when I'm reading this quickly. What do you think about unbanned Vashra? No, I'm good. I'm okay, thank you. I don't want to do that. That's not that fun to do. Almost like scoring 5-3 agenda should have a big impact on the game. Yeah, it almost feels like it should, shouldn't it? YDLPD is fine, but Prob's not taking down any top cuts. I don't think I've seen any list of YDL PD that seemed fantastic. I think YDL is still really good in PD or good enough. I think a lot of the tools that YDL PD used to make YDL PD work, like Rashida and Gatekeeper, they don't exist anymore. So I feel like the ceiling on the deck is a lot lower, but the floor is better than I think a lot of people think it does. Mercury won no games. Bummer. The Ampere's dream is real. I want this to be a thing. Ampere plays higher than all NBNs and HB, by the way. Oh, that's absolutely sick. Just brutal. Just brutal. And they're still definitely playing NBN cards in there and HB cards in there. I'm going to DM you a survey article on how to understand cut conversion as a metric. Yeah, that's probably worth it. Thank you, Lucille. Gatekeeper was so important. Yeah, it was like a really messed up face check. Like, I remember playing into YDLPD. If you face check into a Gatekeeper on turn 1 and they draw 3 cards, shuffle nothing back, and then they fire the YDL the next turn, it kind of wins in the game on the spot, it feels like. And yeah, Scatterfield is not it. It's still a good code gate, but it's more about putting tempo on the table, and it puts you down a card, which is exactly not what you want. It was a tag Ampere deck. Yeah, I saw the Ampere deck. It's similar to the last time we played the Ampere deck. It might be the same player, but it is the Ampere deck that's running like all exclusively 5/3s and then every sort of like kill fork line. Which, for what it's worth, the measured response is good in that deck. Like, that's another good one to add into your deck to have like a, I don't want to say cheesy, because when I played the deck, it felt like its win condition was a bit more focused than I imagined it could be. Still very far off than other decks you can do in standard, of course it is. But it wasn't like the worst thing. Not my favorite though. Cool. Let's look at Canadian Nationals or Canadian Megacities. Well, the first Canadian Megacity happened just this weekend. It was out in Vancouver. Shout out to the team that organized it. Sandarin did a whole write-up that shows all the art arts and talks about the process. And it's like, it's so much work organizing stuff. So if you haven't said thanks to your tournament organizer for all the effort, the prize support is just stunning as well. So it looks like it was a fantastic event. This was also all streamed on twitch.tv/SandarinRP. Day 1 was Jesse from Old Terminal 7 against the Zeroth Maxima. And it sounds like, with all due respect, 2 players just trying to figure out the game. Because like Jesse doesn't know any of the cards, and like Phil is like doing his best to like kind of explain everything. But there's a lot of cards that Phil doesn't know too. So it's like a very fun tone. It's very casual. It's very fun, and just like discovering cards. There's a lot of Netrunner DB lookups, and I mean this in the kindest thing. I think Phil's the best. But it was very cool. I haven't caught the top cut yet. I think the commentators I saw were like Hams and CTZ, I want to say. But I missed a whole bunch of it. But I want to go back and watch it because it was fun. I think the stream by Phantom Alley, they did all the production stuff, and it looked quite nice. Day 1 had big nephew and granddad energy. Yeah, it was a really cool energy to be like, oh yeah, back in my day. And it's like, oh no, I'll teach you what is going on now. And then like Googling stuff. It's funny enough for me to want to go and listen. It's really fun. It's really, really, really quite cool. Especially if you know like Terminal 7 and you listen to that podcast back in the day, which I definitely did. So I'm familiar with Jesse. I put an announcement in my corp write-up if you don't mind helping me get eyes on it. Okay, Jai, remind me if I forget. But it's on the deck list of the week, right? No, that is next. Yeah, I'll find it. I should be able to find it. Let's try another one. Reminds me of the classic old car talk segment. Do 2 people who don't know what they're talking about know more or less than 1 person who does know what they're talking about? It was good though. Really good. Welcome to Netrunner. Content creators don't even play the game anymore. I did it bad again. Hold on. This is it. Cut conversions, like how likely were you to make the top cut playing this ID compared with the average? 1 is equally likely, 2 is twice as likely. Okay, that tracks. That makes a lot of sense. So you're 4 times as more likely if you were playing lat, because there wasn't a lot of lat, and lat did really well. So this is Vancouver Megacity. It was only slightly smaller. It was like 31 players, about an even win rate too, 58 to 57, some draws, and of course some buys. We're starting to see buys now. Not only do you have round buys, but people are cashing in their buys from the previous tier event, which were districts. So there's people who are not playing round 1. I would love to see the data of how many people that cashed in their buy, how many of them went on to make top cut and win events, to see if that was actually really worth it. And this data is like really strange. From what I've seen, the West Coast has a lot of newer players, specifically with like, I don't know what Expo is recently. I know with like Shucks, which hasn't been there in a couple of years. The West Coast is like very commonly getting newer players signed up. So I do think that kind of represents why Moosely Hot was so big here, that there's a lot of players who are coming out for the first time, and Moosely Hot is like a really fun, really straightforward identity to play. So I'm assuming that's what's going on there, because I don't think I've seen any other meta where that is the predominant criminal, and that is, again, meant to be totally tone neutral. That's sick. Asa also being the most represented, I don't think I've seen that anywhere. There's definitely a couple of QTM players on Asa, and QTM classically has played Asa at a really high level, and that did not change at this event. Asa won the event. And then, of course, we have Hosh, followed by Seb, Lou, Phoenix, actually a player playing Phoenix, that's great. And on the Shaper side, it's also a lot of Arasana. No surprise, Arazan, our world champ who won Worlds with Arasana just a couple months ago, is still repping it. And then we have the expected Mag, Padma, Lad Dow all showing up with one player. So kind of weird. Definitely a weirder meta than I would have expected. I don't know if people expected this going into the event, but I would not have guessed that this is what we were looking at. If we start to look here at just win rate stuff, Shaper seems to be doing really well. Barring the lat players, the Shaper is winning way more often than not. I think this is what I'm expecting at a lot of events, is that while Mag in Good Stuff Shaper is not the most represented by a mile, I do think the deck, if it's played well by a competent pilot, feels really, really kind of messed up. If you want to look at the corp side, which we will down here, if it comes down to how much of the corp is trying to kill you and flatline you and how fast they're going, but if you can kind of nail the speed, the Mag deck feels really good. It's really boring, but it's really consistent. I'm a big fan of just like Reg Sable. I'm assuming more of these Sable decks were Reg as opposed to Deep Dive, but I don't have the data to prove that. But this is like not surprising. Currently, what we've seen in the last couple of months is that the Shaper faction is the least representative, but it's usually having like a very high conversion rate. And a lot of the players who are converting well are the players who are grinding it. It doesn't seem like that's the case here. The conversion rate for Seb seemed to be really high. Hosh was surprisingly high, which is really weird for any tournament over the last couple of months. But my guess is usually that the Shaper has the highest conversion rate. Do you think it's still possible to play a super aggressive runner? Setup runner seems much better. Yeah, I think you definitely can. Whether you want to be as aggressive as Mercury, I don't know. The Asa list that won the event, I don't know how aggressive that list is comparatively. It like still does Asa stuff, but it also is running like Cacophony, which is kind of funny. So that might be a bit slower. I do think like aggro Sable is kind of what it is, but I don't know if we want to be playing like Mercury. I think right now with the amount of measured response, the amount of assets, the amount of like threat 4 tech, the amount of like decks are running smaller agenda suites with 5/3s, it might be harder to play full aggro. Like I do think decks just got a bit more defensible. Your best thing that you preyed on, which is like full horizontal assets that didn't ice centrals and had a win condition not attached to like, I don't know, like Opera Research or like HB that you could smash down, that sort of aggro runner, the kind of matchups that it preyed on don't feel like they're super present everywhere. Where it's like against Nebula, you kind of want to be mid-range aggressive. Against Alco, you have a lot of things you have to do, and you can't just like send it centrals, because unless you win, you will very quickly lose. I don't know what else you're trying to beat. Nuvum is a bit tricky to do that too. Not a lot of the bypass tools and tricks deal with some of that ice suite, and they have a lot of big agendas, and you die to measure response out of nowhere. So it's kind of hard. Op is also tricky. Assets op is something you can kind of ignore on centrals, but then you'll die to the bladderworts. It's kind of hard. The Mad deck bored me to tears when I tried it for real. Yeah, I think it's very boring Netrunner. It is very fundamentals driven, but it's very boring Netrunner. Shout out to D, who's fantastic at playing it, but like D just holds the line and just says, okay, oh, this turn I'm gonna crack my like 6th fermenter, install a 2nd fermenter. I'm just gonna install, I'm gonna hit this value trigger, I'm gonna install this value trigger. I don't have to run. And then that deck steals 2 points from their remote server and just does a deep dive. Like it is so formulaic that it really requires the corporation to force it to be outside of that comfort zone and actually interact. And not a lot of decks seem to be doing that consistently for that to not feel like it's the first order optimal thing to do. 2 people got with buys, got into the top cut. Oh, sick. Good data. Thank you. Ari's a lot weaker than before. As a former Ari player, every other ID doesn't feel fun compared with Ari. Yeah, Ari's like the fun shaper right now, if you ask me, unless you enjoy Padma. And Padma's kind of cool. The Dow decks are a bit cheesy from what I've seen. I don't like it. Phoenix absolutely did not do well at the tournament, but small data. On the corp side, this is kind of more what I'd expect. There's a lot more HB than I thought there would be. People are actually playing other NBNs, which you can definitely do it. I do think Arazan was on, oh, I thought Arazan was maybe on, what's it called? Synapse, but I don't think that's the case. Nuvim into Op, that's what I would recommend, or what I would expect. Elko, followed by Atea. I think there's a lot of people trying to make Atea work. We haven't really exactly seen it just yet, but I do think it's possible. And then whatever HB people enjoy playing. Now, the win rates. not seeming that good, I guess. Nebula seems to be doing great, and Nebula is like the most frustrating data point because I really do not care for Nebula, but it is doing well. It's either like doing well at events. I don't think it's winning some major events, or it's like having no chance because the field is just like running it down because we're playing all the like aggro run-based criminal stuff. Right here at this tournament, Dave Laird, Ghost Me did really quite well with it, almost taking it down. I think that was the top placing Nebula is my guess, but yeah, Nebula is still doing well. I don't know. I haven't played enough as that matchup because I really do not care to play it. Ob is doing all right. Nuvum not getting there exactly. Alco is doing exactly as well Alco has been doing across the entire last like couple months, still just doing great. And LEO had a couple players, including the second place finisher, Laura, did really quite well with a very cool LEO deck. And then some not so great stuff going on over there. Are we the most fun with World Tree? Truth? Truth. If God had wanted us to get clickless installs, he wouldn't have given us the face in action card. I really love playing Corp right now and can't find a runner I like, even though people say Corp's in trouble. Emily, I've felt that over the last little while, is that I feel like on Corp, I have a lot of flexibility and a lot of options. Like if someone had to roll a die and say you're playing any of these identities at a tournament, my response would be like, okay, I think I can have a chance and do something cool. But on the runner side, it's just like, oh, I'll play one of these 4 decks. And it's like, unfortunately, like half of them feel like the same deck we've been playing for a really long time. Like the Sable decks are no different than they've been for years. The Hoshiko decks are no different they've been for years. The Seb deck is not that fundamentally different than it's been for years. And so the Shaper decks, I don't think are interesting, but they're very, very good. So I do feel that. As much as like people think it's runners favored, and I think in the top cut that might be more of the case. I think these win rates go up in the top cut. Oh, I can't. I can't do that number. There's no top cut graph. Yeah. NYC players killing in the top cuts. That's the lore from East Coast, right? Kat, that's your local lore, right? Is your disdain just for scoring Seb, Neb, or killing Neb? Both. I just don't like the text on the card at all. I think it is just absolute brain rot, like just the worst. Ice up centrals. Oh, you got to run every turn or we're gonna score out or kill. Like the what are we doing? Come on. Shout out to Dave, undefeated before the cut. Dave was on a total tear, and I was following a bit on Discord because Dave's in we're all on the same team, and Dave was just tearing it up. I think the finals, I need to rewatch it. I know Dave made a call with touch-ups that only hit 1 card. If he hit 2, he wins there. I wonder if that was the right call or not, if you read the bid and how your opponent plays, but it's like such an interesting line to be like, how do you get out of that spot? Nebula's the only corp I find myself miserable playing into. Alco is so much more interesting to play against as an example. Yeah, Alco can be very interesting to play against if you have the tech. Nebula is just does not feel healthy. It really does not feel like good Netrunner. His opponent told him was the right cut. Like the right call. Yeah, got it. Let's talk about Asa. Like Asa did really well, but the Asa matchups across the day, there's just a very varied corp meta, so we're not getting a lot of like numbers on one, but like Asa into Alco doesn't seem like it's converting. We don't have a lot of data. The op is a split. The data is just not very good, but it doesn't look like Asa smashing any specific matchup. I would assume that Asa would do really well into Nuvang because Nuvang has a lot of big barriers as is taxing ice, and then Asa brings down a Begamot and just absolutely eats that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But there's just like too wide of a spread of corp decks for the numbers to be meaningful in any sort of way. But Asa overall winning more. Moosely Hot, no shot, not even close. Maggie doing really well, basically just smashing every matchup, and then the data gets too grainy to figure anything out. No Isawak whatsoever, because Wenjong was playing online that weekend. Hey, Esa might be coming back. The new list of Cacophony is fun to play. Yeah, I'm imagining a lot of people will like try playing Esa again. I'm not a big fan of Esa in general, and I think we'll probably end up talking about that next week with the Decklist of the Week. I'm assuming inevitably shows up, but I've just never been a big Esa enjoyer. Just not my style. I don't know. Check cut conversion. I believe your ability to interpret it. No, I get it. Look, I get it. Like, I understand what it means. I just didn't know where the math came down to. Like, this is the cut conversion. So bigger number means that the Seb players were 3 times more likely, nearly 4 times more likely to make the top cut because there was not a lot of Seb players, and a lot of Seb players proportionally made the top cut. Cool. 1 would be expected. So everything over 1 performed better than expected. I'm the complete opposite. I've been desperately scrambling to try and find a corp I don't hate playing. It's like a week away from UK Nats and I'm still scrambling. Oh yeah, UK Nats is next week. Can we have a shared claim on Laura? She's from Vancouver. Oh, sick. Very, very cool. Hey, floating. Shout out to Laura from NYC. Yeah. I heard need something with a special sauce, and Shaper Runner is too fiddly for my tastes. Nebula's really the only corp I find myself feeling miserable playing too. Okay, I read that, excuse me. Can I get a soundbite from you for the possibility for an R plus N ban? No, I'm good. No, I'm good. Like if NBN is doing well, I don't think that's how we fix it. But yeah, no, I'm cool. I don't think R plus needs to come back. Why are the elevation cards fun and the ID so cursed? I don't know, Meteor. I don't think I would be like as succinctly call it as that. I think there's some like really cool cards on the corp side that are seeing no play, but it feels like that is just a mismatch between what the average runner can do and what the average tier 3 corporation can do. I'm hoping at some point that those tables get closer and so that you feel a bit more interest to play some of them. But it also, again, it's so early in the meta, before or after a ban list, that like has people crack the PT and Chan deck. No, probably loses to like Sab and Centrals and stuff, but like there's still something there. Savior can fight me. Nebula is fun. Oh god, it's so awful. It's so bad. SN to HB seems problematic. For who? I could see it going either way, honestly. Daig stonks. Playing Daig with Cacophony, I was doing that in Pudma somewhat recently, and it's surprising how fun it is on the basis that you can trigger your order, or you order your triggers. So when you steal an agenda, if you have no counters on your Cacophony, Daig doesn't do anything. So of course you fire the Cacophony first, Cacophony puts a counter on your Cacophony itself, and then you can fire Daig, because that is one of the biggest downsides of Charge, is Charge can only add a power counter to a card that already has one. So Daig on its own is useless, but Daig with a Cacophony with a counter is really cool. So functionally you run archives, steal one agenda, and then functionally get sabotage 3 for it. It's pretty cool. That I liked a lot more than I thought I would. That's a cool interaction. Daig is only 2 influence. I'm despairing at NBN ID diversity. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not good. Nebula makes me put Chesva and Shaper. That will never be forgiven. I think there's always been a good incentive to play Chesva and Shaper. I think I've seen a bit of it in Daewi right now, Duckland, because Daewi wants to have a good reason to run, and having 2 credits every turn to spend on, you know, nonsense is like a pretty good reason. I don't know if you need it. The way that I see it is like Shaper can often get econ attached to programs in different ways. Like, I don't know how the Daewi into Shaper matchup goes, the Daewi into Nebula matchup goes. I just haven't seen that matchup. Or sorry, the Magdalene into Nebula matchup goes, because I'm not sure that deck can run all the time, especially in the early game. So maybe the Corp gets to 5 points and then loses, which is not an unfamiliar pattern for that sort of Magdalene matchup. But the idea is like, is Chesva better than, you know, getting down your Game Dragon, or getting enough programs on your table so your breakers are just a lot better with Unity and Echelon? I don't know. It's still 2 credits a turn, which is like super notable for a single card, and it works with like Simulchip and SMC and Arasana and Muse and all that sort of cool stuff. So I can kind of get it, but I do think at the end of the day, it is like 3 influence, isn't it? Yeah. So it's a hard choice. Where are you when they come for Prof? Tetris is needed for the kill combos to be real though. Yeah, but they don't. This card just does way too much. Like it's very hard to show this card to someone and have them have an expectation of what it actually does. It is gross. Like, it is a fast advance card in Nebula. It is double neural EMP, which on its own is worth a lot. It makes 2 card kill combos super consistent. People are playing it unironically just to get a person. Like, this is the thing that I don't understand, is that a board state in which the runner has 5 cards in hand, if there's 1 card on the table that they haven't ran and it turns out it's a Reaper function, okay, so they lose 2 cards. They're down to 3 cards in hand. Now, admittedly, that's one of the cool parts of the design of touch-ups, is with fewer cards in hand, it's harder to touch-ups elegantly. But if you play touch-ups and hit 2 cards, you just have 100% lethal with complete image, as long as they've satisfied the complete image clause. If they have 2 cards in hand, it's a 50-50. That can just do, like, this card literally does everything. It is just so buck wild that this card does absolutely everything you could ask for it. And it just becomes way massively lethal. Of course, we're still in like peak stone chip chart room, so there's like counterplay to it. We did see again, apparently at in the semifinals or quarterfinals, or I forget which finals, it came down to like having the call wrong, or the runner and like going out of their way to only hold 1 event in hand so they don't die to the combo. Like, it's, man, the card is super overloaded. And I'm not saying that's necessarily bad, but it's also like, it is going to be a problem for a while, or a very powerful card for a while. Does the website used for the meta review aggregate also data of all tournaments at the elevation meta? It technically does. I find out by accidentally clicking on the button. So I'll share the website. This is made by Spider-Bro. So this is the maker's eye. I never remember the URL because it's a bit much, but I have it bookmarked. But if you just hit run, it runs a meta analysis to the point off the meta. But the problem is like the meta right now is so weird. Like the 2504 meta has represented a lot of different points in time, but it does give you an overarching meta analysis. And this is what it looks like, which like no surprise that this is what we've seen in tournaments reported so far. Aoko, Nebula, followed by Ops, Wiki, and Leo being this well represented and winning literally next to nothing, followed up by Nuvang into PD. Like PD being this low in any meta, something is definitely, I don't want to say wrong because maybe people are excited for this, but that is very, very, very telling. Very, very, very weird. On the rudder side, I'm imagining we're just like Hoshiko and Sable. Yeah. And Mag actually showing up a lot more than you think. And then again, Muslahat has not won anything. Phoenix is actually done okay in earlier tournaments, and Baz, they're both kind of like really dropping the baton here, not doing much. But yeah, not too surprising in some ways. Mr. Yeti, you're part of the problem. Headbutt Corp to win, what's not to like? I tried to make Synapse work the first 2 weeks of Elevation, got nothing for it. Yeah, it's trickier. It's trickier than it is, and I don't think this is intentional, but it feels like a lot of the, just naturally, I don't know if this is intentional. It feels like naturally a lot of the corporations in the set have really bad fail states, right? Like if you draw a bad hand with Synapse, you can't fire its ability. Because if they remove a tag and then you have no board state and you're holding only agendas and or operations, and you want to play some amount of operations as much as they have no synergy with Synapse inherently, you don't fire your ability. I played against a whole bunch of probably unoptimized list of Synapse online, even myself, in which we just did not fire our ability consistently because you have to plan for that. And sometimes you draw badly and it doesn't work. The same thing with poetry, and I don't think poetry is doomed, but I've seen board states where people don't fire poetry, and that's not only bad, but it tells you so much about the hand. If they're not firing poetry, it means their hand has mostly agendas and or operations, and you can interact with that information favorably. Same with PT and Chan. Like what happens with PT and Chan when you draw multiple agendas? It doesn't do anything, because with multiple agendas, you can't empty your hand, and if you can't empty your hand, you can't score your agendas, and so things get worse and worse and worse. Like, it's so weird that so many of the identities snowball backwards. They take a bad start and make it into a terrible mid game, and that is just seems to be so much more accentuated by the lack of the sort of cards that were the big smootheners of early games. Things like Rashida's that you would score out or push out on turn one, and that would give you the ability, the card draw, the economy, the forward momentum to be able to capitalize on a not stellar hand. And losing that on top of runners not feeling they losing that much more and having these backward snowballing abilities, I have felt that very, very, very succinctly. That feels bad. Feels really, really rough when it doesn't work. It feels awful, honestly. It's like the worst. Fix NBN representation by unbanning Drago. It's an option. I'm assuming we'll just see more touch-ups and align decks that double advance in a remote server, but we'll get there. Nebula is just so dull to play against, and why did they get credit before flipping? Yeah, no, it does a lot. Nebula will be reverse RP. I want to see a Nebula deck that builds a remote server. Like if Nebula says you can't fast advance, I'm kind of in. Obviously the deck is so much worse, and then you probably just play kill combo Nebula. But yeah, it's weird. I tried to touch up the complete image at Apex, Stone Ship. Yep. Yeah, that's not gonna be good for you. I think you can kind of like, I think you just want to force out the Stone Ship first. 5 points and then lose? I play way too fast for that. I lose long before getting to 5. I'm new to playing Hoshiko. Are you supposed to use her by playing the draw side every turn? Music, it depends on the board state. Let's just open up modern Hoshiko deck. And again, so this list, I'm just going to like cherry pick lists kind of arbitrarily. This is Cyberspace Panda's list. And this is another point that I do want to bring up. This list, which almost won, mind you, APAC Megacity, is functionally running no new cards. And that is the sort of problem in where I'm worried that we're not going to see new cards for longer than we would want it to be. Like functionally, this deck is the same deck that people have been playing for years. The difference is Crowder is now Rising Tide, or Cleaver more accurately is Rising Tide, and we're now spending influence on Dirty Laundry. Better Dirty Laundry, but Dirty Laundry. But this is literally no new cards from the set. And that is like, that doesn't mean the set has failed, because different sets are trying to do different things for different audiences. But this sucks. It's still fun. Anyways, the question was about Hoshiko. So on turn 1, you generally want to flip Hoshiko if you can make the run make sense. So if they don't ice up R&D and HQ, that's great. Even if you want to run archives, that's usually correct, as long as there's a card in it, because functionally you gain a card and you gain a credit for a single click. From that point forward, the optimal thing for Hoshiko technically is to run, not run, run, not run. Your opponent knows that, so they're going to try and capitalize on that tempo. But the way that I look at it is if my money is good, trading a credit for a card draw is a good value. In this game, it's a lot easier to get credits than it is to get card draw. So clicklessly at the start of my turn, which is the best time to draw, trading a credit for a card draw is a totally cromulent change, especially when you get that you get that value attached to running, which is something you should be doing anyways. And ideally you have money. So the idea is with things like Keiko and all these companions, you're already dripping so much money turn after turn after turn that pays for the card draw. And then of course you have things like Fermenter in the background. So if I'm at like 1 credit and I know if I run this turn, I'll be in a bad spot and I have 3 cards in my hand that I can install, I'll probably install them. But yeah, you have Leech, you have other ways to make your runs make sense. That's why Clean Getaway makes so much sense in the deck as well. A lot of times if things are going well, you could keep Hoshiko flipped all the time, but you should consider unflipping, because technically unflipping, you get another credit as much as you technically get extra 2 credits, right? But you can stay flipped. Ban info bounty after ban hard deep dive. I feel like Mark just dies if you ban info bounty. Do you have a speculation on when a ban list is coming? No, my guess is I would hope before Continentals. That would be my hope. But I don't know. And I think it's a hard ban list to get. The people who do that do great jobs. They do great testing. I want to be very clear. There's a chance that they decide that the meta is healthy and diverse enough that they don't need it, which is at this point like not an undefensible take. I think it's more so that I think people would want a shakeup, even if it doesn't seem like it's necessary on paper. I don't know what has happened to me, but ever since rotation, I have quite a few unbeaten corp decks on Jinteki and really awful runner win rate. Lamau. I think one thing, Emily, you might be running into that I know I ran into is that the speed of which you can and should play runner lists is different. I was going into the meta playing a bit too aggressively on runner, the same way that I felt like I could win in the last meta. And it feels like corporations are slowing down. They're not drawing as many cards. So pressure multi-axis on certain servers is not as valuable. And so you can be a bit more passive. You can set up a bit more. It doesn't feel like there's that many decks that are like doing that PD problem where they win on turn 7. More often they're winning on turn 14 and 15. And so on a runner deck, it's up to you to kind of like match that speed. And I found that I was overextending with runner decks and then finding myself into the mid to late game and having no economy and being gassed out and just kind of losing the game over the next 4 turns without being able to even fight for myself. I do think I have experienced that. Maybe you are too, but I do think if you played in the last meta, there is a change that you have to, on the runner side, it feels like it's a change that you have to make. Maybe more obviously than the corp side. Clearly we have to play more sprint. Maybe. Yeah, maybe we do. And I do think that's also an interesting thing, is there's certain cards that we could be playing. A lot of the elevation IDs are payoffs on enablers. Yeah, maybe a mix. Poetry is definitely a payoff and not an enabler, but PT can be. I just don't know if the card pool supports the enabling. Bring back healing, correct. Sprinted PT is actually a great shout out. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I do think also I played for a bit Humanoid, which I think I saw that off of, I want to say Not Yet he was playing it, but I might be wrong. How's the heat dome treating y'all? It's not as bad today. It's getting cooler. We haven't lost power so far today, knock on wood, but that was the issue yesterday. Kato, how are you holding up? I haven't liked this version, but I've been playing versus more Bangan than usual. Oh, that might be a JNet casual thing, because I think people were trying out the Bangan list from last week and having some fun. Keeping Hoshiko flipped is rarely the best. Yeah, I think flipping back is totally reasonable. Bing using open market red team isolation with her and what the Cyberspace Panda deck thinks. This is isolation in it? Sounds so similar. I need to play slower. I always wanted to do well and then bottle the mid-late games. Yeah, exactly. The mid-game, late game, you need to have a plan for it because you run out of money. Oh, it's a locals thing. Oh, cool. Cool. Hey, Lars. Spent a week camping in the woods with my friends with minimal cell service. Had a great time, but feel pretty rusty to jump back into Netrunner stuff. There's some tournaments this weekend, but any week is as good as any other week. I think the easiest thing you can do is pick up a list, watch some replays, and dive back in. But things are kind of the same that it's been a week ago. Hopefully you had some good time out of the woods. Heat is still pretty bad. About to start a stream from work, and I'm crossing my fingers that I'll have 2 PCs going, won't boil with me alive. Yeah. You're going to want some ventilation in there. That is definitely for sure. Hopefully y'all stay cool. I haven't got to the point where like the camera fails on me on heat. It has before, but we've had, yeah, electric issues sooner than we've had like those sort of technical issues. All right, Egg 2. I wanted to shout out one thing here. We're probably going to play it after because I have to play Egg. Otherwise, again, the Canadian Farmers Board won't like me. This is Laura's list. Laura did fantastic coming in second in Vancouver MCs. I don't know how long Laura's been playing for, but this is an LEO deck, 14 influence, leaving one for our homies. 8 agenda suite, very weird agenda suite too. I've seen a lot more of these lists to actually play vulnerability audit because it makes a lot of sense in seamless launch. Only 2 in this list, but we're on 8 agendas. I've seen 7 agenda lists, but the problem with LEO is, in my experience, the early game kind of sucks. The early game is really bad, and if you play 9 agendas, 10 agendas, heaven forbid, I don't think you play 10 agendas. You just end up with too many agendas in hand, and LEO generally needs to set up at least a bit before they push out. So playing fewer and fewer agendas from my limited testing has felt really, really cool. LEO is like quickly my favorite corporation identity in the new meta. I've been playing a fair bit of it. I've had some frustrations. I do think a lot of the times, a lot of the cool, cute cards have been cut out from it, and I'm glad that we're just back to Regolith, because that has felt like the most important thing, is if you can get through the early to mid game, and Regolith allows you to do that somewhat consistently, you can actually play a game, and your late game just feels so good with LEO. Operations 3 greasing. I would be surprised to play that, especially without. I do think the greasings were sneaking in with the humanoid resources, but right now this is just tempo value greasing, and maybe they float a tag. Even then, we don't have 3/2, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. We have hedge funds, we have 2 seamlesses, and I've really liked the seamlesses in the deck, and then we have a single scape net. I think the meme here, Scape Net Mitra Vulnerability Audit tier, is really, really funny, and I have no doubt this card is super overperforming in the meta. I think it's really hard for me to come and want to play this card because it's just how it exists, and what it does feels just awful, and very game winning in a way that I would be very frustrated if I was on the other side of the table, but it is definitely worth playing. The things that you lose to are virtuals. A lot of the time you lose to like a slow methodical twinning. You can now hit a cacophony, which is probably nice. I don't know if that showed up in the finals. I'm not sure what sides of the tables they played. It was streamed, but yeah, it's just very, very good. Chips has a couple targets as well, but it's very, very good. Upgrades, 2 Managarms. You definitely want some defensive upgrades in this list. I think the last LEO deck started doing all right in the meta. We're playing Isaac. I've never wanted to do that. I really don't like Isaac. It doesn't do anything on its own. It's very expensive on influence. I know it's a Byroid, but we don't have advanceable ice we want to play. Increasing the strength of your ice is actually pretty good, but I just haven't loved that card, so I like to see something else in this slot. Managarm has been quite good. It is just a very powerful card, especially in context of them having to click with Byroids, having to run back when you trash your Byroids, and then still having to pay 5 or 2. These upgrades do really well into things like Seb as well. It does end the run, which is quite nice. It's very, very good. Single Mavirus, kind of sick. This has been skimped on in a lot of decks, and it is coming back into the meta. It is doing a lot of work. We have 2 Mershas. I don't think I've played fewer than 3 Mershas, and Mersha is just such an all-star card, especially because this deck is on, I think, 16 ice. Yeah, 16 ice. So it's about, I think that's kind of where you want to go for. Somewhere between 15 and 17 is my guess. And Mersha, not only being a Byroid, just gives you a lot of efficiency to get your cards on the table. Maybe because we have less burst draw, this is less good because we're not a humanoid, but Mersha is just an all-star card. I'm surprised to see not as many of them. We have 3 Tranquility Home Grid, and then a card that I was putting immediately in my first LEO list and then cut them with 2 little testing, but very excited to see Mitra here. Mitra is just your ability to grab a Byroid at instant speed, grab the worst Byroid. They think they're running a Fly Swatter, shout out to 2x Fly Swatter gang, and then it turns out it's like a big old Oncel or a Brawn, and then you can still trash it. You're going to be trashing your ice, so you should have targets with Mitra. Not only is it an economy card, not only does it fire the Tranquility Home Grid as like a cheap install, not the when it's text fires, but it's cool to see that, and to see if players misplay or play around it. We'll see. I think recently I've been playing this 4 influence on Anoetic Void, and I've been really, really liking it, but I'd be excited to see if this feels a bit better and how different it is. Ice Sweet, not too surprising, 2 Tattoo Bola. I've been finding playing 3 Tattoo Bola. It's really nice in the early to mid game and it allows you to get your money up. But unfortunately, if you have too many of these, the Kurapiras farm them. And if the Kurapira farms them, your bronze become pretty toothless. So that's an issue you have to watch out for. So we're down to 2. Single Ablative has been totally fine. And then you have, of course, the 3 bronze. We're on 2 Fly Swatters MICs. That's what I've been playing as well. I don't think we want to play the other code gates in this list. It's not a great list for Scatterfield as much as Mitra can deal with Scatterfield. And sometimes Scatterfield can immediately become 4 strength when you trash a Byroid, which is cute, but I don't know if that interaction is worth it. Then we're on 3 Boomy, 2 Uncel. I've been classically playing 1 Uncel. I found it to be not a card I want to draw in the early game, so we'll see if Mitra makes us more scary. And a Singleton Tier. And I've actually been playing Singleton Tier in this list. I think if you're playing Architect Deployment Test, it actually doesn't feel awful, but it is a pretty good ice to res. It is 7 strength, which that makes it slightly harder to crew charm this, but they can still do it if they want to. It's just tier. I don't know what to say. It's very, 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 very expensive. If you res your tier for 7 with Mitra, that's very funny. And it's just like a no-nonsense scoring HB list that's like mid-range Glacier, and it's really cool. Some of the changes I definitely would have seen coming, but it looks like it's doing well. And I think Laura's talking the write-up about how much this is just fun to play. And that's what I've been playing against LEO. I just been playing LEO, and it's just been generally fun to play. So I'm excited to come back to this. We'll probably play it later today. Laura's been playing for about 10 months, by the way. I played some of her earliest teaching games at NYC. Sick. Kill Simulchip 2, such a messed up card. Yeah. And not only does it kill it, it removes it from game, which like that's not always super relevant, but like removing the twinning from the game is just like, why? Why are we doing this? Oh, sorry, you made a run. I'm going to pay 1 credit. You have to pay 7. Like the F? Classic Skunk Void combo Leo is fun, but I love the Mitra. Yeah, this seems like more fun. But we'll see. Very cool. Having fun in Netrunner, that's a ban? Yeah. Bring HB down and peg for sure. But this looks cool. It looks really cool. We have 4 3-pointers. So ideally we score, of course, 2 2-pointers and a 3-pointer, which hopefully that's possible. With seamlesses, we probably have to single advance our cards. Maybe we have enough upgrade soup that it's hard to tell how easy it is to contest the remote server. But yeah, seems fine. Greasings early is good. This is not running drafters. I know when I was playing this list, I was running fewer on cell. Sometimes I'm running tier, but I'm usually running like a drafter or 2, just because drafter is that good. And on the early game, that's the sort of ice I want in centrals. And then greasing actually works really well with the drafter as well, because you can recur it. Of course, you don't need all your ice to be biroids. In fact, you shouldn't, because the problem with biroids is that they're porous, and you want to have some ice that is not clickable, so they don't just face check everything. And so I've been really enjoying Drafter, which is obviously a very good card. People are on Echelon, people are in Carmen. It's very good. Hey Ada, attended my first Netrunner tournament here in Vancouver this past Saturday and had a blast. Thanks for your vids and tips and all the advice. Oh, glad you had a great time. It looks like there was a fantastic event out there. I have no doubt. The folks organizing it did a great time. Glad you went out. I think that's like the biggest thing. And I'm very thankful you took the time to like kind of echo that sentiment, because I don't think I've heard any one person, maybe there's some survivor bias here, who has like been apprehensive to go to an event or anxious, either because it's their first time going out or because they're, you know, newer to the game. They don't like, you know, big crowds, stuff like that. And then they've gone to an event and then regretted it. It's always been the opposite, to be like, this is invigorating. Everyone's so nice. I met people. People were kind. The games were fun. We went out for dinner, had a great time. Like, it's always that case. And I cannot like emphasize that enough. You need to spend the time to go out to organize play if you can. It is just the best. Glad you had a good time, Ada. Excited to see Audit in a winning deck. I've always liked playing NPD. Not my favorite card. It feels like something you just kind of have to do in what's it called, in HB. But I just, not a great card. I don't like the design of it. If it was installed face up, I'm in. And also only running 2 seamlesses. Like, seamless is obviously one of the great enablers with this. So we'll see how many more of this we need. 7 rounds was still a lot of Netrunner for one day. Yes, I hope that it's emphasized enough, is that it is an endurance sport. Luckily, everyone's playing the same sport. So people, if you're getting tired, your opponent is usually equally tired. So it becomes a bit of a different game. But it is, you do sort of get that, like, I'm imagining a runner's high, where like when you're 6 rounds in, you got 1 more round to go, and everyone's like, we can do this, we got this, hold on. It's there's definitely some like weird built-in euphoria you get from that sort of exertion, which is kind of cool and it's worth like talking about. But yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot for sure, but it is for everyone. Hey Neon, glad your grid is holding up today for a makeup stream. We have not lost power yet. Knocking on wood. How are you doing? All right, let's go. I want to start with Jai's list that won the event this weekend. Jai said there was a link in it that I need to plug. Jai. MC Beef. I went to my first IRL event and it felt less like a tournament and more just like meeting with people that also love Netrunner. Yeah, it's kind of infectious. Like, I don't think I've ever left a tournament. Okay, rarely have I left a tournament and my first response is, let's play some more Netrunner. It's just kind of infectious. So this is Jai's list where like you cannot stop him from playing Asa. So this is just like a value outco list. He was doing weird lines on his stream that I don't think I was seeing coming. But you have a lot of like flexibility. This deck is only on 2 moon pools. I've been noticing a lot of outgo decks moving away from Ladder Wart just because they'd rather have money, because money's pretty good, especially when you're Hollow Min deck. And so now we're actually playing Hedge Fund, Hansei, Petty Cash, and Fully Operational. There's the sort of Asa influence. We're spending some influence on Scatterfield, which is a pretty good card here. We have a lot of things to install, and we're building remote servers. We're generally single icing stuff, and then we're pushing the game forward. We still have FUT for the weird non-games, if you can ice up a FUT. Of course, Cohort's also worth icing up, but it does play a lot like Auko. A lot like Asa. where there's just a lot of cards on the table that have a lot of obvious value that the runner has to figure out which ones they can contest, especially if they're playing Banhar or something like this, while you also have the built-in card draw. So it is less like the sort of, you know, a Bladderwort, I'm going to grind you, more so like, oh, powers that be is going to fire when I score with a Hollow Mint and I can score 2 agendas in a single turn, which has happened. I think that there was multiple double agenda scores because we do have some like small ones, like hybrid release into powers that be. You can do some goofy stuff there with Moonpool for sure. We have Regenesis into Fuji. Also, you have to know if your opponent's playing Regenesis or not. You need to know. You have to play entirely different against Regenesis. Figure out which windows you can run Archive safely as the runner. And even then, it can sometimes be not safe. Like if you have 5 cards in hand, you think this is a good time to run Archives, and then before you access Archives, they res a Moonpool and jump like a Fuji and a Sting in there. You can just die out of nowhere. And I've been seeing a lot of players who are not respecting it, or at least deciding they can't respect it, because that is a very, very hard line to deal with. If there's a Moonpool on the table, you don't know if it's there. That's mostly it. Let's give it a shot. Have you talked about Piley's Esa list? No, I haven't yet. I'm assuming that'll be Decklist of the week next week, so I'm not too stressed about it. I'm not like the biggest Esa enjoyer. It just hasn't like been a playstyle that's landed with me well, as much as I've classically enjoyed playing Noise. 7 rounds of Netrunner Amateur stares at the middle distance of 7 rounds L5R LCG dice while sounding a gunfire and people crying place in distance. It's like 14 hours. You gotta wake up at 4 in the morning to get out there. Man, I haven't played L5R in a bit. I miss it. It's fun. Import deck. F. I played against this now, and that I've seen more of the list. I feel like it can struggle if the runner realizes you're fully committing to scoring. Yeah, open versus closed deck list is obviously a thing. In the finals that I was watching, I was pretty sure that Jai had no shot of winning. I was like, this is cooked. The opponent, the runner there, Panda had like 30 credits, and then Jai still figured it out. So I do think there's some explosive tricks the deck can do. You have to obviously pilot it very well. But I do think I had that sentiment too, where like Panda just had couldn't find a Fractor. That was the only worst problem. But otherwise like seemed entirely capable of controlling the board. I do think also a lot of people are prepared to deal with this sort of list, and it's still doing very, very well. Played L5R2 casually, never competitively. That was a wild game. It took forever to play. It really did. Mom, I'm in the Decklist photos. Hey, Emily. Hey. Oh, I was meant to check something in the list really quickly. There's something that I want to shout out. One last thing before I sign off, as a part of an effort to help out, oh yeah, right, Netrunner community with gameplay improvement, and to help with my travel costs for the rest of the season, I'm starting a series of community submitted replay reviews in exchange for donations to my coffee. If you're interested in helping out or even just learn about more, you can read more here. I don't know where this link goes. Oh, cool, it's the manifesto. So I know that Jai's been working on this for a bit, and Jai has sent like an earlier script of this to me, and I imagine some other people too, to ask for like opinions on this, because Jai is like very careful about how he wants to word it and what he thinks. Oh, awesome. Best of luck, have fun. Which is very cool. So I think it sounds like a really cool process. Okay, we're playing against Moosey Hot, so we want some ice on HQ. The Fuji in hand doesn't really do anything. We can have a cohort. We can put that behind something. Obviously she's gonna be running a lot of run events, so R&D usually don't ice up sooner than archives, so the clean laundries are going to be just coming across, the clean getaways. Not much we can do about it. Tattoo Bowl on HQ is pretty fine, especially if we keep the Vampy, so Spin Doctor can open this hand up. I have very little experience with Auko. Well, not that little, but very little experience with this Auko list, of course, so I don't know if we can do better than this. This seems okay. How many agendas? Yeah, the suite is unhinged. It's like 14 agendas, 12 agendas. Okay, I have way too many tabs open. We'll probably have to rectify that sooner than later. All right, petty cash. We have to start with that, if anything. So we want to consider that because that's obviously our first click. The first petty cash is not great. Ideally, you're discarding this with like Hansei or just Auko itself. So if we just ice up centrals, we're not doing anything. So we could do petty cash, Spin Doctor. We could also just Spin Doctor and throw out petty cash, but I'm assuming we want a bit of money against criminal aggression, let alone transfer. So we could do petty cash, we could do Tattoo Bolo, we could just put a cohort on the table, but she shouldn't struggle trashing that. I don't know if she is that aggressive. Vampire Noslin R&D is kind of fine, but I want the Tattoo Bola ice. So I think we can just put the Spin Doctor on the table. And if she plays a run event like a Baya Bands into it, which Moosey Hot is known to do, we get a lot of gross value. I don't mind losing the first Spin Doctors. If she trashes it, she trashes it. It's sometimes awkward to do a Spin Doctor on your opponent's turn because then they can pivot HQ, but I don't think we'll have a HQ pivot this turn. You also have to be careful, like some runners won't face check this because if it's a Saisentan, which we have one of in the list, it's just kind of a disaster. And while a lot of Moosey Hot decks are actually on multiple breakers or even on what's it called? The Matryoshkas. You're sometimes scared if you're holding like your one killer. I would jam the tattoo with cohort and play petty. Yeah, I don't know if we want to get like a run event on HQ. Like transfer won't like totally ruin the game. So I'm going to do this as the classic respect play. I think also like just to teach players that's a bit better. We could have the aggressive line where we just ice up the cohort, but I'm hoping with the spin doctor we'll find something. Well, that helps us for sure. Just get doofed, who cares? Okay, so we know that she has a transfer. So this ice seems reasonable. But I don't want to give her the 9 credit swing. What is generally meant by jam in this context? Jam is just the term for like putting something on the table. So being aggressive with something. So you just put something on the table. Jammy decks are decks that want to install something in a remote server or multiple remote servers every single turn. This is really brave. If it's a Saisantan, she can't die. The worst case scenario, she hits the Fuji. We'll just res here and show her what this is. It eats a boomerang the same, but she could have easily taken up to 6 damage off of this. And we would definitely call event and hit the transfer. So it's only one Saisantan on the list, so risks are taken. But that, I wouldn't say would have been game losing, but it would have been pretty bad. Carpe diem, R&D. Get the mark. We're not going to res the spin doctor first. I don't think she's going to run this, and that. In theory, we could break lock with the spin doctor and draw first, so she doesn't know what we're drawing. There maybe is some value to that. She trashed a move pool for 3. We're happy. Straight into a jailbreak. Okay. So do we want to draw agendas or not? If we want to not draw agendas, we shouldn't spin doctor. If we want to draw agendas, we should spin doctor, so we break lock, because she's going to know what she's seeing here, but she is going full aggro here. Sees 2, steals none, so she's going to know everything we draw unless we shuffle. We'll start with the spin doctor because we're going to be resing it no matter what. So we have a fly swatter, we have a petty cash. Start a turn, we have this petty cash. So not great. I think we're going to do fly swatter into, she's clearly like very aggressive. So we could still hold the Vampire Nasa for the Tattoo Bola if she does boomerang into transfer. I think we're just going to play this petty cash. We'll do fly swatter cohort. And then last click, we can either hold the Vampy for Tattoo Bola. I think that's fine. We could just click for credit, which doesn't feel like the right play. She probably has a read what this is because we didn't pop the spin doctor. Most of our agendas are in the deck. But if we put the Vampire Nasa down, it's really good if we res it for 5, but then Tattoo Bola doesn't do anything. So I might just click for a credit here. That might not be great. I could see putting the Vampy down. Our list has more ice than you could expect sometimes. I think we're on, what, 13? Yeah, we're on 13. So we shouldn't struggle that much. A lot of the decks are just adding more and more ice into Aoko. Yeah, it's Matryoshka. Okay, that's really good because we have Samasamun, and Samasamun is really good to Matryoshka. She's going to need to install this Matryoshka and spend another click to run the remote server. So that's 2 cards, as much as you don't install the second Matryoshkas, so they're cheap. But this means that she probably has 6 dolls in the deck. We're on, oh, we're no Samasamuns. Okay, never mind. So no Samasamuns in this list. So actually, the little dolls are going to go a bit farther than we think they are. That's very, very mean if you're on it, because it cannot be broken easily without a fractor, and because this is not typed, you have to take 3 net damage if you want to go through it on top of breaking it. Or I guess you don't break it, you just don't end the run, right? What's the text on Samasamun? I think you can just always take the 3, right? No. Yeah, okay, you can always take the 3, and then you can't break it. So that is the clause. It's not that the subroutine gets worse, it's just this is always the same subroutine, and you can't break it unless you have a fractor. Subtle. All right, she has a double. If she goes through this, she still has to pay 3. Straight for the transfer, so I'm glad we kept the Vampire Nasa. And then here, she might not clear the tag, but this is why we don't install the thing here. We knew she has that, so our cohort's going to be safe here. So this, she gains 5 and a tag. We lose go +1 credit. The Vampire Nasa on HQ is not perfect. The Spin Doctor is not a great trash, so that was a pretty good access. She's going to trash it anyways and clear the tag, so she's down to 6. We get a cohort, we'll cohort out the petty cash so we don't have to play it, and then we're kind of off to the races. Oh, biobands, perfect. That's really good. Not gonna pop the spin here. This is potentially lethal if she hits a Fuji. Actually not that likely to be lethal. Oh no, because of course she draws cards. Still sees nothing, we cohort. So cohort will fire, we're gonna get our outco counters. Okay, we can get a Fuji in the bin, that's probably correct. Oh yeah, no, our power is fine, Gyro. So we can Hansei the Fuji. We do want to find another piece of ice for R&D or for largely for archives, because then with we can set up with Hollowman or we can set up with Moonpool the Regenesis play. She needs to check archives, and with the Spin Doctor will bring back Spin Doctor and probably the Fuji. So we'll draw once. Oh, we technically can play 2 petty cash in a turn? No, because we finished an action. Foot's good. We could do Foot Tattoo Bola and just res that and see what she does. It'll probably make her uncomfortable. The Tattoo Bola is not that great because she breaks it for 1, but then she has to spend 4 credits this turn. I think we do that and protects our centrals. It's like weird to build the fully op when it's not consistent in the deck, but I think we'll just set this up and we'll just pre-res this. We're at 9 credits. We can bounce back next turn. This Vampire Nasa will drop us down to 4, but with Cohort, we'll be okay. Should really run spin at some point. Yeah, I don't like the spin trash in HQ usually when there's a spin on the table. But yeah, this, she needs to contest or contest archives. Yeah, there's a lot of agendas in the deck, and she hasn't found any, which has been okay. But at this point, like now, if you run R&D and find a Fuji, it's 4 damage. A Sting is 3 damage. And so this card protects your centrals in a like less obvious way, but also very incredibly obvious as soon as you start touching cards. No, it's no stress. The cool thing about this fork too is like with the Matryoshka, kind of like Banar, unless she finds another doll, she can only really consider contesting one of these unless there's a pinhole threading. In theory, Cohort's more important on this board state because we're not really set up to score, but this is just protecting centrals. So again, if she runs archives here, she could take as much as 2 damage from the Fuji, 2 damage from Foot. So you just need to be careful. The thing is now she ends her turn with no cards in hand or low cards in hand. And we might not have it because she's been locking the deck. She knows most of our cards in hand. Is we can score out the 2-1 from hand and just do like a bunch of damage with Foot. Nice. Mystic. Missed the Moosely Hot Draw. So she needs to draw here. She's running the spin. We'll just go ahead and use it. So I'll bring spin back and Moonpool, of course. Okay, she drew. Okay, so the top of the deck is clean. Cohort. I think we get rid of the hedge fund here. We can actually get rid of the Fuji. It might be correct with the fun on the table. I'm going to try it. We'll do, of course, Cohort first. Nice. We have our Genesis setup. Look at the top 3. So Saisentan, an enemy hybrid release. So if we do the hybrid release, it'll do 2 damage and we can install the Fuji on the table. Then the Fuji next turn is 3 damage. That actually might be the play. So I like Saisentan. Wow, we have a lot of cards. So we could just set up the Saisentan Regenesis. The problem is like she breaks it relatively well. She'll take a bunch of damage. We can definitely petty cash here, might as well, because we're now playing around Bladderwort. So we can hybrid release. That'll get us down to 11 credits. Fut fires. She takes 2 damage, drops her to 3 cards in hand, and then we can install the Fuji on the table. We can't score it next turn. I think we could put a Saisentan on archives. That might also be fine. It's just so it's harder to check. I'm okay with that. We can put another Cohort on the table. That might be fine too. I'm okay with this on archives, I think. So we could draw once, Saisentan Cohort. And then next turn we can consider do the hybrid for 3 damage and then get the what's it called? The Fuji out if we need to. Toss side jam regen behind an enemy. That is like definitely one of the lines too. She can easily check it. Oh, she has a pinhole. That's really, really bad for us. At least it's very expensive. She'll play this for free. Cool. We're not going to do anything. Oh, excuse me. Why are you getting Fuji out of the bin when there's a Regenesis in hand? Well, it's like one of our options. I think now we'd probably just want to do double ice and push the Regenesis here. Carbidium for R&D. Cool. Safe. Like, clearly the Fuji's going to be a lot better if we Regenesis it. I think we can get into a situation, though, where she maybe touches it and dies. Trash's reprise due to net damage took a sting. Okay, glad that we don't have to deal with that. That could have been a reprise turn. How's it going, by the way, Blah? So we have double Cohort, so we can actually NA, like, just about anything. She doesn't know where we're drawing. We probably want 2 ice. It's a shame that we got rid of the enemy, because that would be really good on the server. The moment that playing Oko as Asa really clicked for me was when I realized that I was supposed to be playing Archives as another remote server. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really good way of talking about it. This server is so important. Discard equals jamming. Yeah, I noticed when you're playing, you were like never icing up R&D, and this server is like the most important server. Will we double Cohort this turn? I don't think we will. I think we're going to throw out the Hansei. But the second Cohort, we don't have that much value for it. And we're going to get Alco on this turn anyways. Maybe because it gives us an Alco counter, could be right. But I think we'll have enough cards here. So we're going to Cohort first this Hansei. Hopefully draw nice. Then we'll look at the top 3. It's Fut, Hedge Fund, Fuji. So the problem is if we throw out 2 Fujis now, they're just in the bin, and then she wins. Might as well get Oko value. There's a chance, but I don't know if we want to keep ripping our hand apart. Maybe we should have got rid of one of the hedge funds on Hansei's. That could have been right. Because instead of play for 4, it's clickless 2. Okay. So we're flooding up a bit. I think we can just spam on the table res fut. So we could do fut. Man, we have Moon Pool and then 2 Hollow Men. So we have a couple ways to score out. Like if this was we score 4 points. Oh no, because we Oko'd. So you can't Oko on the same turn you were Genesis, but we could have scored out. So we could put Fuji on the table and not care, but then she's on game point and the Fuji in the archives wins the game. So I think we just do fut. We could fully opt for a bit of card draw here. But then we can't double install. Fut into an enemy is also fine to set up the server. Or hybrid into. We could put a hybrid on the table. We could cohort the hybrid, score the hybrid. Actually, I want to do a tempo hybrid, I think. I guess we hedge fund? Because we can clicklessly score this. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I need to read this. Yeah, we forgot to res this. Because next turn we can double flip on the hybrid, score it. We can install an enemy, jam a Fuji or the Regenesis behind that enemy, I guess. Yeah, totally. That might be a line. Bravado's in hand, so she might be more aggressive, less so on this server. She has 6 in hand though. Like the clickless card draw from Moosely Hot is pretty good when this deck is trying to force a card advantage or disadvantage. Yeah, we definitely want a Moon Pool here, or we want a Hollow Man. Okay, so she's checking. It's a cohort. This tattoo's gonna be bad. No, yeah, it's not gonna be the best. The best it does is it keeps the Matryoshka busy. I'm assuming she'll check server 5 if she checks server 4. We probably should have fired that cohort. Because we won't naturally get an outgo this turn, but I don't know if we need one. Okay, so that's gonna be 2 damage. So maybe Fut will live. If that was a sting, would be a lot faster, a lot happier. So we hit a maintenance axis and a raindrops. Okay. Needs to play something with Mystic. So maybe she has to panic Bravado here. We could lose this. We definitely could. I'm struggling to get this hand to be a threat. She just like draws up and plays a bit passively. It seems like it's okay. The FUD is only once per turn? Yeah. Oh, jailbreak. Okay. So even more aggressive. FUD's dethroned or thorned. So sees nothing there. Still needs the Mystic. Last click using a Bravado is pretty frightening because if it's an enemy, you just end up on not a lot of cards in hand. The worst we could do is, in theory, we can't do that much. We could like score it out. It's just Bravado. Where are we going? Defanged, yeah. So if we res this, she pays 1. She finds out what the tattoo is. That drops her down. I guess we'll res it. It's not a great surprise because we don't have a swap. Okay, just keeping her busy. She's gonna get some money back. Yeah, I know. She trashes this. We're relatively happy. She'll still be up on 8. So double cohort here could fire Oko, but we did a net damage, so we're fine. We'll single. Fully up doesn't feel like it's doing much. We have enough money. We'll try it. Cohort. That's really good. 4 strength is good. I guess we'll Oko next. Moon Doctor, Spin Doctor, Cohort. Okay, Moon Pool, Spin Doctor. That's exactly what we need, because now we can set up a Regenesis. I think there's just not a reason not to Cohort. Well, if we like all the cards in our hand, there's a reason not to do it. Now here, like, I don't want to get rid of anything. Yeah, this is the issue. I don't want to get rid of too much. So what do we want to get on the table? We need to score the Regenesis and the Fuji to have a chance. We could score the hybrid to install the thing on the table. So we will drop down to, we still have a mandatory Drew on. So I do think we want to put cards in the bin. so we can turn on Moonpool, but we don't actually need to. Yeah, Top Spare Agendas is really good with Moonpool. So I guess we get rid of the hybrid. Oh, Powers is really good. So now we just triple install, right? We do Moonpool, Powers. I don't think we do the spin. I think we don't do the Regenesis either. So let's just build Asa. So we'll get the one that we really care about. This will just be our tempo server, and we'll go from here. Is there a chance the Powers can be uniced? Because if we get the FUT back, I guess it's just like tempo FUT. But like that's a lot of efficiency in one turn, which obviously double cohort is kind of cracked. We still don't have a Tattoo Bola, so this is fine. This is a 4 credit check. Missed the draw, which is good. Now if she checks archives, we can always like give her the Fuji if we want. If not, we'll just shuffle them back. He says HB is dead /S. Yeah, so now we have to be careful that we don't fire cohort, we don't fire Oko, because if a card enters the bin, we cannot score the Regenesis. So we really needed to seed the bin here with another Fuji. Score and flop? Yeah, probably. We might just score and jam. Depends on what we top deck. So it looks like we're going to get the FUT behind the Scatterfield, and we'll probably just jam something here. If we have a Sting, that'd be pretty good. Shezva? Okay. We don't mind so much. No console yet, too. I'm not sure what her console will be. She could be playing any of the 3, like, criminal consoles you'd expect. Woo, very good check. Unfortunately, here we don't have the agenda on the table, so we can't really Moonpool for value, but that's a great check here. So we res the Sisenton for 5. She has to break for functionally 1 credit. Power feels greedy as an install. Yeah, but I don't know what else we do. Like, here would be really good if we just put the Fuji on the table, especially with the double cohort. That might have been right. Why not turn cards over for free clicks? Because now we have to Moonpool, so I guess we'll res this. Our money's fine. The issue is like we pop the Moonpool for no value, so she's just chasing them up. This is fine. Yeah, she can break this for 3. It's only 1 with copy. This is really not bad. Does she die? She takes 2 damage. She's on 2 cards in hand. Can we flatline with 2 cards in hand? No. Wait, can we? No. Axis? You gotta intimidate your opponent a bit. Also, yes, okay. All right, so we are not gonna trash anything. We're gonna shuffle these 2 back in. Sometimes it's right to give your opponent the Fuji, especially if this was Fuji Sting that does 3 damage, and then we sometimes can flatline with 1 card, potentially. We have to put the advancements on something. I think we'll just put them on this. And then we get an Axis there. Okay, so we're still in a bad spot here. We'll cohort out the hedge fund. Struggling. That was a really good archives run. Your opponent needs to be running archives. Very, very good archives run. We definitely need a Holloman. If we have a Holloman, we have a shot. Wait, did you? I did. Yeah, I advanced. Nice. All right. First cohort. Hedge fund. That's good. So we'll get rid of this Fuji, of course. I think, I'm not sure the order that you should do these in. Punished. FUD Boto Hansei. Okay. So we have a Hansei. We want a Moonpool on the table. With a Moonpool on the table on this. Oh, wait, no, wait, what are we doing? We couldn't even Moonpool there because we had to shovel the Fuji away. I think we should just do Regenesis. We don't care about the strength of Scatterfield that much. So I think we just do Regenesis behind FUT. Sorry, Regenesis behind Botu. And then we just put a FUT on the table. I think that's probably what we do. I don't think we need the Moonpool. Like, this is still 3 to trash. The extra agenda meant you could still FA. Yeah, you're right. We only flip 1, so we'd have to do install advance. So we're going to lose a bit of tempo there. Yeah, we could have done it. Reg behind photo, behind scatter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Emily drew finality. Sometimes that's right. Luckily, we know where at least one of the Fujis is, so we're not too worried. But taking the core damage is obviously pretty bad. The stings is what she has to be worried about, because every sting that we score out, like especially with the FUT, like the sting that we score out does, I think, 3 damage. No, 4 damage. You don't throw out the petty cash? We weren't able to. We drew it on the last cohort, so we couldn't. We will definitely throw it out at some point, but we didn't discard a card there. We want to discard an agenda so that we can do something with Genesis, but we can't just discard it for fun. If we powers, what are we getting? Clean getaway? Yeah, okay. I think the FUD goes back probably. So she functionally trashes this for free. Cost a click though. Oh, it was better because of Mystic. All right, this is fine. Well, is it fine? Do we just take this to the face? Because if we res this Vampire Nasa, we go down to A6, then we go down to 3. That's pretty bad. Make sure not to discard with cohort. Yeah, no, for sure. We'll do a double flip, I think. Does Regenesis need to be face down? Yeah, of course. So I don't think we res here. I think we just take the credits and she clears the tag. Yeah, like, unless we have 2 eyes, she breaks us for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it still costs her money, but we need to have money for this. Oh, Moonpool. That was the best hit. Oh, maybe Spin Doctor's better. I'm assuming she clears the tag. Maybe she has a buy bands. If she does, that does go +1 card, which is kind of cool. All right. Oh, yeah, with Chesva. So, yeah, it's totally easy to trash. So, let's see if she clears a tag or where she floats. I don't think we'll have the time to trash the Mystic. I wonder if we should have, like, put the trash this cohort and put the FUT. This is where it leaves for fun? Oh, no, that is super risky. Finality. Hit a transfer on a tag. So, like, we could be playing End the Line or Measured. We can trash Mystic because of cohort flips. Yeah, it might not be worth it. This is way more aggressive than it needs to be. She could win, but also she hits 2 stings. And a Fuji. It's a problem. I guess she wins if that happens, depending on the order. That's a good hit. So now she wins off Fuji. Trashes a Holloman. Oh my god. Okay, we're not a bite deck. So we need to figure out what to do here. She's on a tag. We're going to be on 4 points. So I think we just do double flip and then go from there. We know the top of the deck is relatively safe. So cohort will turn a card face down. We'll cohort, we'll turn a card face down. We'll advance, we'll res this. We'll score. I should think my turn. We could have petty cashed first, actually. That might have been right. Hey, Grindel, how's it going? Yeah, we had some technical issues yesterday. Death? No. Oh, you're good. We know the top of the deck is safe. So the question is what we put back on the table and where. She's 8 credits. All the transfers are out. Our money's not very good. Yeah, we could have petty cash first, but I'm assuming we'll throw that with a cohort. Oh, petty turns off for Genesis. Yeah, good catch, good catch, good catch. Definitely would have done that. So Holloman on the table means that we're going to be on 4 points, so we still have to score Fuji to win. So it might just be FUT. The thing is, like, if it's a FUT, she still wins off the single Fuji. I don't know what we get with this. So we'll score. We'll do Regenesis. So we can add this too, because it's face down. No cards have entered the bin. Then we can add a card back to hand or onto the table. So we can put an enemy on R&D. That's maybe fine. We didn't res on HQ, so she might not think. We could get the FUD in the remote server, but we need the remote server here. Maybe we put the Holloman in the remote server and then we can fully op, but I don't want to break lock. Why no damage? I didn't score the Fuji. I just added it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's probably the Holloman. So with this, if we top deck an agenda, we really need to install it behind this and hope our money's not there. So fully uppers are like our busted card here. She saw 4 cards. She trashed 1, so she knows the next 2. But we only have 13 cards left in R&D, which is the Oko issue. So we just need to build a big old remote server. So I think we do credit, maybe trash Mystic. That brings us down to 7. That's probably fine. Go double ice R&D here too. Yeah, it might have been okay. The Tattoo Bola and R&D at a minimum is pretty fine. So we could do Tattoo Bola and then just trash Mystic. I'm not sure if we should be trashing Mystic. In terms of cards she's played No Sure Gambles. She's played... Wait, is she on only hits? No, she's on Mystic, but that's a lot of run events. So she still has probably a Biobands, a Bravado, a Carpe, 2 Getaways. Yeah, I'll trash it. I'd flop for money. I want to flop for card draw too, though. I want to flop next turn at the beginning of the turn so we can do like card draw, break lock, credit. Deck probably isn't playing Gamble. Yeah, you're right. It might not be. I think with Mystic you want to, though. There should be another Matryoshka. So the double ice on R&D is just like cost her a click, which is a card. And then obviously money. Yeah, there's the sure gamble. Okay. So she lost 2 credits. Pinhole. Sick. She knows there's a Holloman. How much does it cost to res Vampy? 7. But usually it fires and you get 2 back. So usually 5, but currently 7. So we'll do cohort for this petty. That's good. We're still like have pretty narrow margins to get out of this. Ideally, we need to set up the Regenesis Fuji line again. She has 3 cards. I guess we Oko here. Hybrid release, we can just score that to go to game point, but she has her 1 longevity. Regenesis, we need hybrid, we need is 3 agendas. It's literally 3 agendas. So Sting in the remote server is kind of good fun. Sting does some good damage. All of our futs are in the bin. Ugh. We're gonna mill out if we keep doing this. I think we just jam the Sting. And then we score out the Regenesis for our last point, because that'll bring us 5. This will bring us to 6, 7. We maybe should have thrown the Sting out. Hybrid gets hollow back. Oh, that's true. Like, do we just score the hybrid to go to 5 and bring hollow back? Yeah, that's way better. You mind if I redo this? Yeah, because that puts us on game point next turn. I binned the wrong one. Thanks. We both have to turn the key on this one. Isn't hollow face up now? No, because it wasn't res. Yeah, wait, why is it face up? Oh, well, for what it's worth, it doesn't matter on high. No, it does. Wait, why is this face up? What? But Powers doesn't... They pinholed it, yeah, but they pinholed it face down. Why would it be face up? Oh, because you trash a card. That's just inherently how the game works. Never mind. Never mind, we're good. Because that's the base rules of the game. I was like, they trash it face down, so it should be face down. I totally blanked on that. I'm just done here, I guess. Oh, never mind, we're good. So we could put all our eggs in one basket. We're on threat 4, so it's a big fish. So we probably just do Hollowman, Sting, and fully opt for a lot of money. Do we have to protect the gen to the bin? Runner can see car, trash face up. No, I've played this game before. That just didn't seem right. We'll try this. An enemy on there would have been good. That might be too much money. Why did we trash the hybrid again? So we can Regenesis it back. I don't think we can win this turn. No, we can. We can actually win next turn. Because we can now, if I'm not mistaken, cohort the Sting. Oh, we only have 1 face down, so no, we can't. If we had more face downs, we could do this. If we had 3 face downs, because we need to keep this face down, we actually could win this turn, I think. Because we can... No, we would need 2 agendas in the bin, too. Okay. We're not getting in there. Okay. You can install the hybrid to bring back hollow with TPTB and install the agenda you trash with the outcome instead of using hybrid. Oh my god, yes, that's what we were meant to do. That's why we were redoing the turn. I forgot for a second. What we were doing. Yeah, we would bring it back with, oh, she has a reprise. That's really bad. Yeah, so we've punted it a wee bit, but we definitely could have brought the Holloman back immediately. Not with the power of hybrid. This hybrid's gonna go and we're gonna get it reprised. I don't know how bad the reprise is. Yeah, there's like a weird line here. We can actually score out everything in a single turn. Because you can like double cohort the sting, and then if this was the hybrid, you could double cohort the hybrid, score the hybrid, install the Regenesis, and then Holloman the Regenesis. So there is a line that actually wins with Sting Regenesis. So she has a reprise in hand. She has to pay 2 for this. It bounces something and makes her run, so she can bounce Resed Ice or unresed Ice. Yeah, there's a cool line here. So it's all about that last Fuji. Oh, there's 2 Fujis in 8 actually. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be able to close this. We have all the anemones, right? Yeah, we do. Those haven't come up yet. Okay, she bounced the agenda. That's okay. So now the run's really risky. Yeah, so she's just gonna run here. If she takes us down, it's like not the worst. So that was just like a Hermes. Okay, it's back to us. We don't want to rip through the deck. Yeah, I missed the powers too for a second. This deck has, yeah, Jai, you had some really cool score out patterns. There was a weird score out that we potentially had here. So I think we just hollow in the Regenesis. Sorry, the Sting to do damage. And that makes the last Sting kind of pointed. And then from there, we need to do a Regenesis setup. The problem is she's checking archives. So we probably need a Spin Doctor on the table with powers. We can powers back an anemone on archives or a moon pool probably. I want to reprise a Bioac. I don't think I've done that just yet. Okay, I think we just send this. So we'll do the damage first. We hit a doll and a doll. And then we can install a card. We're still on 10 credits. The game is an R&D, it turns out. Fuji at this point has no text, so she can be a lot more aggressive. FUD is the first time an agenda scored is stolen, so that also doesn't actually have text here. So we could put an enemy on R&D, but again, in the context of Fuji, it doesn't matter unless she's playing around double an enemy. And then the only way that we actually win the game with 2 hybrids out is we have to Regenesis something or do 2 scores. Because this is the last Regenesis. It's really hard. Remember when you told me I wasn't going to get Magi powers? I don't know what you're talking about. If it makes Sting kill possible, yeah, maybe that's our best line is to make a Sting kill possible and keep her busy. We can put on top the Holloman because we can always slide the Holloman over. But in theory, we can score out the FUT and do a couple damage. It does take a lot of clicks to drop for the enemy and prevents a trash and run back. Yeah, maybe there's some truth. Alex, how's it going, by the way? How's your weekend? That's an interesting choice. This is where, like, Alco is actually genuinely quite cool. If you're prepared for it. I have no doubt Emily's a bit sweating on the other side. But we are, like, scraping by. I don't think we're favored to win if she plays this well. I mean, maybe it's just the FUD. We can also install the Regenesis from hand. An enemy in R&D is fine. The other ice is a tattoo. I'm going to do an enemy R&D. This also gives us a way to, if she runs it, we can discard an agenda to like do the Regenesis play. This kind of makes it seem like the agendas are all in R&D, which is true. Okay, she got a Bravado. So her hand is Bravado, 2 unknowns. I don't think we've missed any tracking. Weekend was okay. I didn't do as well as I'd like to have at Mega City, but a weekend full of Netrunner is always a good time. Very cool. How was your, I think you're playing Arsana, right? FUD can do maybe significant tempo damage from regen hollow FA. But if we get a regen hollow FA, we win the game, Gyro. So I don't know if we have to do that. Like, we're on 5. Oh, unless, sorry, you mean just like score the Regenesis, which maybe that's true, but then if that's the point, we have to score also the last Sting. Maybe that's possible. Because in theory, we're threatening to be on 6 points next turn. Wait, there's no Sericulture in here. Oh my god, there's a Sericulture in here? There's a 3-2? Oh, I had no idea. Ari was solid. It was built to defeat all the meta Wayland decks. I had to go 3-0 versus the Waylands, but I got stomped by Lara. Oh, bummer. Okay, I didn't know there's a Sericulture in this list. So she probably wins on this run. She has some good odds to win off of this run. I don't want to throw out the Regenesis. So now if she continues, she dies to another enemy. So we'll see if we can, like, force her out. She knew that this was here. But she might need a Jack out here. She should have seen that, though. Because we installed this, I don't think it was face down, so she should have known this was an enemy. She might have missed a bit in the chat log. We've been playing a bit slow. But now we're actually very likely to find the sericulture and win. It cost us 5 credits, and so we can draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, 5 cards next turn. So we're very likely, if we survive this turn, to get the sericulture and close the game out. Played a match versus Sauce at our locals yesterday. Hey, Utati, we both lost on Aoko. It needs buff. How was the stream? Okay, so if she continues to go, do you want to continue? If she continues here into an enemy, she loses. So she might not, but she also might calculate that like this is the only play that makes any sense. And she has a 2 in 7 chance of winning the game. Actually 3 in 7 because of sericulture. 6 including the Mando. I think it's 5 in the Mando because Aoko is 2. Oh, you're right, because Aoko is technically 3. Yeah, because it doesn't matter that you're drawing 2, you look at 3. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6. Emily's continuing the run. Ah. She's got to get rewarded for this. Kill me? I mean, come on now. He's on this one. I was on the beef. Oh, we could have res the tattoo. That's fine. We definitely should res the tattoo. I thought that we were going to res the tattoo. Nice. Hey, good game. Sting kills 2. No, she wins. Good game, yeah. There was definitely some risk there. Definitely some risk there. But 3 and 7 to win the game. Yeah, so Sting is when you access. Not when you access, when you score a steal. So the game is over. Oh, no, you're right. Sting does win. So there was a 1 in 7 she dies because she was on 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So Sting loses there. 2 enemies lose there. But she took the risky line. Yeah. So the deck is like pretty loaded still. It is Fuji, Sting, and the sericulture. We wanted that. And then it's just a bunch of like ice and stuff. This is cool. Thanks you too. Oh, she's gone. She'll probably be back in chat. That was cool. I don't think we were pivoted fast enough to be able to like do the tempo scoring out. I think we biffed the turn with the powers the turn before. Our opponent took some risks and you have to. And it's really exciting when you take the risks and actually like pays off. And I do think likely it does. I wonder if you don't make the HQ run. I think knowing this list is only on a single Saisentan, you can make that turn 1 bravado. But if that's a Saisentan, the game's kind of cooked because we get like 5 Oko counters, 6 Oko counters sometimes. And then the game's in a really bad spot. But this is the sort of clock you have. Like we largely only have 1 more turn to do anything before we're kind of deck out. Not that Alco or cohort are mandatory. So like if she has 1 more pinhole, we're in a pretty ugly spot. Very cool. I'll run it back. All right, Cacophony. I think I know who this Smurf is. All right, it's Ari. Opening hand, very similar to what we had last time. Thanks, you too. We're worried about deep dive. And with deep dive, an enemy on centrals is pretty legitimate. Bautu on the remote server is okay. We can open it with a petty cache, but we don't have like a pretty strong opening here. I think you do want to keep a Fuji. There might be burners in this list. Let's see what they do. 45 cards. I think we got lucky in the last game, in the early game. We didn't bleed like any agendas off of an open R&D. But yeah, archives is where the game was. Do you respect transfer? In Arsana, no. If we get blown out by transfer in JNet Casual, I'll just like notch it off to a non-game and move on with my life. Like, unfortunately, I don't think it's a good look, but it's like, oh, they transferred us. Okay, we lose. Like, I'm not going to play around it until I realize that's a thing you should play around. And so far, I haven't not seen that. All right. Do we play a hedge fund or would we rather play petty cash? I'd actually rather play hedge fund. I think playing this for 4 of a 2 turns. This is a card I'd rather discard. I don't want to discard this hedge fund. So I think we do hedge fund, an enemy that we probably draw first, right? I actually want to ice up R&D more than HQ because there's a chance Illumination does something really gross for us. So I think we're going to draw once. Okay, that's obviously the play we want to make, but I think we'll just do hedge fund and enemy, and next turn we'll do the cohort. It's likely they run HQ, but I just want to not get blown out by Illumination. It might be hard to play Illumination against, but I'm assuming this might be like Bling Arsana more than anything else. Gotta find a way to make a deck with Amelia and Cacophony, so I can call it Cacophony. I mean, they both like Dag. DZ Coalescence. Okay, so doesn't tell us too much, but could easily be on Blink with either of those. Okay, we have Botu cohort. That's fine. We can petty cash here. It gets a card out of hand, but it gives us money. Botu is not the easiest for Ari to deal with. I don't think. You can't get through this with slap. Well, you can slap vandal it, but it's hard. Oh no, you can't actually. But you can get through it with. You can't get through it with Azaram either. Ooh, would you rather have Foot or would you rather have Cohort? I think we'd rather have Cohort immediately. And Oh, we only have one click? What? Excuse me. I thought we had another click. Of course, that is what Petty Cash does. Hushikari, I'd be super surprised. I think these cards are just very good. I don't know if Hushik's worth it. Yeah, I know. I realize I played Petty Cash. I'm so used to like subliminaling it. There's so many interesting interactions I see happening in these games that I need to spend some time getting familiar with. Apologies if it's going fast, Ada. But there's a lot of really cool nuance on both sides of the table. Oh, okay. So we're in a weird category of game of Umbrella. So this is probably going to be painting our stuff code gates. You technically break Botu for 2, which is wild, but you're also going to need some way to host something on top of it. So we're assuming it's a Chromatophores Umbrella deck. And getting free card draw during the run is really good into the deck. We have a Propeller in the bin. I don't know what to do here. Like, Aoko hasn't fired. So we probably do Bauto Cohort. We have a click, a Botu Cohort. We have a click to draw. We can throw out the Petty Cash. I don't feel like we're doing anything. We're really missing the Sama. Yeah, the Sama would have been disgusting. Code Gate and HQ multi-axis? I don't think I'm too worried about that. Only one day off and already our boy has lost his touch. Minesweeper, how's it going? That's rough. Yeah, that makes sense. When your opponent throws out one, they probably have the other. Propeller into Botu is still pretty good, but here we can start pushing through. So Cohort, this now needs to be dealt with, but notice how our Shaper is not running, just setting up, kind of representative of the modern meta. We definitely want to find a piece of ice here. We can play the Petty Cash, no problem. We have to, and then we'll draw and then probably install a FUT and see if the game gets interesting. Or not. We could Hansei for more money, but money is not really what we need here. Botu will become strength 6. Oh, is Umbrella limited? Yeah, you're right. It's like Banner, the other weapon. I need to run to get some work. Don't catch our Savad. Ada, thanks for dropping by and letting us know about how your event went on the weekend. Hansei Petty Cash. FUT on the table. Purging at some point might have been reasonable, but it'll be next turn if anything. I guess we can just put Moonpool FUT on the table and not res FUT. And see what happens. More like petty trash. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a Chromatophores. So now we res the Botu for 6. Umbrella breaks it for 2. Both players draw a card. If this was a Tattoo Bola, oh my god, would that be silly. But it's unfortunately not. It's a Botu. Also, if it was a Sama Samoon, this would be really, really bad for opponent. Hansei gets ID counters. Oh my god, I keep forgetting that Hansei is actually worth playing because you discard a card from HQ. It has not crossed my mind at all today. So we spend 6 for a card draw. I think we have to get this rezzed. Eventually it'll be good into the matchup. Now Arsana did not install this from hand, right? No, Arsana. Oh no, Arsana did. So that's the Arsana for the turn. Yeah, okay. There's the tattoo we need. Deck that as a monkey wrench. I think you might need to. Okay, so now if they don't crack the fermenter, we can purge it. We're comfortable purging it. Pretty merry. So also this is going to be a Central's deck. Whether it's Dewi, I don't know. So we don't have to res any of these. We'll res the FUT, and then we'll purge their fermenter. So start a turn, no trigger. We'll just purge. We'll res the FUT. We'll end turn. We'll discard the Petty Cash. The second Hansei, I guess. And just say go. Finding the HQ trash synergies has been a fun part of tidying up my Aoko play. And enemies 3 counters on face check. Yes, yeah, very, very cool. How'd you get 3 credits? Oh, you clicked for 3. Yeah, that's fine. That's a thing you can do. God, I don't feel like we're doing anything. I guess we just do Regenesis behind the Tattoo Bola, and then we'll throw out the Fuji on their turn. Probably. Why would you say is it good to purge or fermenter 3 counters? It depends a lot, Jolin, on their money. If it's all their money, if you can afford to purge it and you're getting forward tempo, your board state is doing something from you, you have assets, you have Lacostas, you can purge. But it's very hard to answer. If it means next turn they have to just click for 3 credits, then it's worth doing. Hansei Fuji? Oh my god, that was so much better. That was so much better. Yeah, we could have Hansei the Fuji there. They might have made them suspicious. So we can spend 6 credits to get this. I think we're just going to do it. I'm a profound moron. They may run archives. Yeah, we moonpool if they do that. Cable, how's it going? I might have done something wrong. Moments before this moments before disaster. That might not solve it. Shut up. I'm in control. Yeah, I goofed it. I'm gonna have to fix this. I was coasting. Just going to grab one of these. Gonna put it in the bin. Gonna go counter 0. These cards have so much words on them. Okay, cool. Shuffle. Thanks to you. All right, let's go. Holloman cohort Botu. I don't know if we need another cohort. The Botu seem interesting against the Umbrella deck, but we don't really support it financially. I think the Holloman's probably what we do here. I'll get rid of one of these. Yep. Just not shuffling the agenda like a winner. Oh no, I did it again! Oh no! There's a guide somewhere here of how you're meant to do it. I think you're not allowed to Oko that turn. Oh, jammy. This is what we want. This is definitely what we want for this. We've been too jammy. So this is with the herb cream cheese. That's a nice countertop. Or maybe they're in the bathroom. I wouldn't judge. It's clean. 4 thick slices country bread toasted. The fuck am I doing? Just an absolute mess. Did that work? Can I undo turn twice? Yeah, it worked. No. Thanks. Again, lots of texts. All really intricate directions. Whatever, shut up. Don't even. Yeah, at that point we should be like, yeah, it's fine. You can have it. It's okay. We have 2 moon pools for this. That's why we installed the second moon pool, so that this doesn't happen. Okay, Devadata, that tracks. Luckily, we have an anemone. Don't press the button for 1 turn. I mean, I was surprised we're at 2 Oko counters, I'll be honest. It's an enemy. I'm gonna ask for an action. And then we're never gonna financially recover from this. They get to see 3 cards. So this might do some damage. Hit a Phaserum. That might have been their thing they wanted to do. Okay, so now they can't access because they died of Fuji. What is on Hushak? Whoever called it nailed it. So this is a very, risky run. I'd watch breakfast cooking show Metropole Grid. It's yogurt. It's like just yogurt. I got honeyed cornflakes the other day. I was like, that doesn't sound like something I want. A fully op is not bad. Rather trash Hedge than Hanse, I think. You might be right. It has synergy points with their deck. So I think we just do cohort. We do like a panic fully op and then get back into it financially. We're like, have Botu at 6, which is kind of sick. 6. Do we purge here? Indulge in weekend breakfast. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's probably more reasonable. Breakfast with the Metropole Griddle, and Patrick is the guest chef bringing his favorite recipes for traditional soul food breakfast. Patrick does have some experience professionally cooking breakfasts. I don't think we purge this fermenter. They have telework. I think we need to get back to the game. I'm just gonna click for a credit. We have the Fuji Moonpool cohort interaction to set up. Spin draw for ice and better flop. Maybe we could have done the spin there. I think the cohort is kind of nice because it gets us another Oko counter. I have to be worried about R&D sooner than later. Maybe the fermenter is just bait. I almost choked my dinner when he said 4 thick slices country bread toasted. I mean, there's an easy deck write-up eventually if you go to eggs.ca. Canada's main egg website. Okay. We have to be worried about Hushik. It doesn't work with any of this rig, but I'm assuming there are multiple Devadata. Like, Arasana can just, like, slap this on the table. We have only one more Regenesis, so we're going to have to do a bit of work here. Yeah, sending it. Going to take maybe a damage. Multiple Phasariums, just influence for days. In the pocket of Big Egg. I mean, free range, please. Please, buy free range. So 3 cards here, we're not going to shuffle. Pretty Mary, Devadata. Biff, baff, boom. Totally safe. What are we throwing out? Oh, Fuji, for sure. Here actually might be a case to do Alco first, but we always throw out the Fuji. Unless we draw a Petty Cash, but we've got rid of all of them, so we'll do Cohort first. I mean, those are all good cards. Okay. So this server, I don't think they can deal with. This is our weak server. We need to have a Spin Doctor on the table. The FUD is going to keep them busy, but only slightly. Always ID first? I don't know. Maybe. You get more options, so you might be okay. But sometimes you want to get make the easy choice and then make the harder choice. Because picking 1 of 3 versus the non-choice, like we're always going to throw out the Fuji. If we had no Petty Caches, maybe we do Oko first, but there's no way we don't throw out the Fuji there. It's like part of our game plan. But yeah, I wouldn't say always. I think a lot of the times you would rather have more options before you cohort. But if you have the easy option in hand, you can start there. It's weird. Okay, so FUT on the table is whatever. We can put another enemy on R&D. So we can do Hedge Fund and enemy R&D, Hollowman in server 1. We ideally want to Spin Doctor to the table, but we have Moonpool at the minimum. You can score Fuji from the state with Hollowman? How? Wait, what? How? Cable. You have a safe remote? Yeah. I think we can just install on top of the cohort, though. I don't think we have to trash it. Oh, like push the Fuji? Yeah, maybe we could have pushed the Fuji. With Hollowman, you're right. We could have done Hollowman Fuji, and we probably have a pretty safe remote. Actually, no, Propeller can get through this. They can propel through this pretty easy. Right, it's barrier into barrier, let alone everything else. Why wouldn't we at least hedge? No, we probably will. But I think we do a Hedge Fund, an enemy, and then just jam the Hollowman. I'm worried about losing an R&D. We did just break lock. They might respect us as a virus. Yeah, Propeller into this, like they deal with this really well. So it's not perfect. Score Seltzer and Hybrid for the game. Yeah, we'll probably score the Hollowman. I think we'll just trash the cohort after it fires. And then we'll just score the Sericulture out. And then we can top deck a Hybrid for the game here. But you can always move around Hollowman. Maybe we could, but I think they have to deal with the Hollowman. They have 18 credits now. This Game Dragon Pro drops into Umbrella. That'd be pretty good. I don't think they're too stressed about it. They have multiple propellers. We haven't seen a Simulchipper Muse. They also like can break this with anything they have. Cool. So Hushik doesn't work with Devadata, does it? No, it doesn't. I'm assuming this will get a killer? A Chromatophores. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. So if we res this, they go down 1 card, we go down no cards. It also allows us to fire Aoko twice because we discard a card. But this only sees a single card, right? Access 1 of the set-aside cards. I don't think that works with Pretty Mary, so it's pretty confusing. More like Pretty Mary confusing. And this is only... Is it 1 cost? Yeah, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I don't get it. Do we want to take cards out of their hand? Or we just let this go through? Drops us to 6. I think we need the money. We'll just let this go through. I don't care. The best they have is a longevity. Otherwise, they can get a sting if they want to. Okay. So, we need to get money. So we'll Alco. Sorry, we'll Alco first. It shuffles the deck. So Botu, Cohort, Hollowman. Take the Botu, and we'll trash the FUT, I think. We have a Fuji. So we'll just score the Sericulture. There's points in archives too, so them like going hard on R&D is not even the worst thing for us. So we're on 4 credits. That's enough to top deck the win next turn. We don't have an Alco trigger though, which is a bit annoying. But if we res an enemy, we'll be on 1. So actually a bit tricky. You can score the Fuji. Hold on. If we installed the Fuji, we got a free advancement on the Fuji. We could have thrown out the sericulture. Oh my god, yeah, we could have won, couldn't we? Yeah, so if we installed the Fuji on top of the Holoman, so we could have thrown out the other agenda if we wanted to. We installed the Fuji, we Holoman the Fuji, we advanced the Fuji, we res the Moonpool. Yeah, we could have won. Yeah, you're right. We didn't even have to cohort the agenda. We can Moonpool it. Yeah, we could have won that game, that turn. Okay, that's a bummer. That's good to know. We're good. We'll shuffle back in, I think, a hedge fund. Yeah, it's a cool line. Yeah, I need to keep that in mind. I'm Moonpool is eludes me sometimes. But yeah, we had the ability to score out, and we were like a bit better than credit perfect. I think we had 1 credit left over, but we could have scored the Fuji from hand. So this is 3 cards. That's the problem because we're never gonna break lock. So we need to hit a sting so we can fire Oko. That's bad. There's 2 of them in the deck though. Okay. Is R&D softer than HQ right now? No, but they see more cards. This is okay. If we could res the Tattoo Bolo, we'd be really happy. This actually draws us a card, which is kind of neat. Oh, they break it with Propeller. Of course they have to. Telework? Yeah. So I think we just have to put this on server to be able to break lock. There's 1 more hybrid. We have a Holoman, but we have a money issue. So now we're just hoping to draw it. And again, if we don't get another Alco counter, which with an enemy we get at least 2, but that puts us on 0 credits. So we're in a bad spot. We're just short a couple credits. Yeah, we could have closed the game that turn. We messed that up. We could have won. So that's good to know. Spin to win, it looks like it. We'll see if they transition onto HQ. I'm okay. This will give us credits. They have to go through this. Well, maybe they don't. Actually, they bounce. Looks like they are, though. Ooh, Fly Swatter is actually really cool into an enemy. So now we actually could win. We did break lock. I think we used the Spin Doctor to shuffle back. If they trash it for 2, we're pretty happy. Maybe we don't, because I don't want any of these cards in the deck. I just want the 1 agenda. Maybe that's wrong, because they can run and see. Well, they actually can't even see more than 1 card. So if they trash it, we're happy. Because now whether they do telework, discard a card. We haven't seen like an overclock yet. They're probably on trick shot as well. Not trick shot, sorry, spree. If we jam this sting and they steal it, it's like it puts them on game point for the last Fuji, and that's not great. So I don't know what we do with this. I think we just put the Holoman in the server. And then if they don't run it, we'll be in Holoman credit will be on 7, and we need 6 to score out. Ooh. Yeah, we just have to keep putting them through this. So if we res this, we get an Alco counter. It drops us down to 2 credits. That's enough. I should have asked for action. Apologies. So they have to break this for 2 if they want to break it, or they could Propeller it. We'll draw a card for sure. Okay. So we'll see what they get installed with this. I'm assuming it's a Devadatta. They don't have that much money to work with, and they've already used their DZ, if I'm not mistaken, because the Propeller's glowing orange. So I don't know actually what they do with this. Like, Devadattas would be very, very bad for us. Muse into what? They have no money. What are they doing? I don't think they have anything they can get here. There's no 0 cost program in the format, unless they grab an SMC. Oh, Fazarum is 0, but of course. This is only a single, though. They don't have a window to simul-chip the Devadatta. So we have a chance of winning here. We also could flood up really bad. Merjana? Yeah, but there's no shot they're playing Merjana. Okay, that was weird. Illumination costs 1 less, yeah, but not the Muse install. The install with Muse, the Muse came down for 1, but then the card they get with the Muse can't be 1. So there's still one more hybrid. We didn't draw it. There's 10 cards in the deck. So they're on 0 credits. This cost them 1 to break. This cost them 1 to break. How do we make this hard? They have 2 cards in hand. I think we just put Sting in the remote server. They'll probably like hit us with an overclock sooner than later. I think we put a Sting in the remote server. We put 2 spin doctors on the table. No, we have to click for a credit. So we do Sting in the remote server. Spin onto the table, click for a credit. We can throw out the Fuji. I think it's harder for them to hit an R&D into this. They'll be safer there than this, which we're not going to res. We need to get rid of trashables. Holloman is like worth something, but it's a cheap trashable. I guess they don't have money to trash. Powers won't do anything in the matchup. The spin is good. So I'll guess rid of the Botu, which we're so far away from threatening to res. So their line of winning is like Sting into Fuji. But if they don't run this turn, we get the Sting, which does 7 points. They can simulchip for Coalescence, so like they can immediately get money. They can clicklessly get money. Running Archives, okay. So this makes it risky if they want to run HQ. Ooh. So we'll put that back in. I don't think we'll put anything else back in. They have one more run here, so they could grab Devadatta. So they could see 3 cards. So they could win off of R&D. But if they don't, we win off this remote. So I guess we'll just pad R&D at this point and put a fully up. We could have let them get the Fuji or drop them down to 1 card, which makes the run on an R&D a bit riskier. But if they do steal single agenda, we win. Yeah, might as well pad R&D if we have to win here. Okay, so we'd have to hold on. They'll probably grab the Devadatta here. And if we can survive a 3-card access of which they have to steal at least a Fuji. Draw a card with an umbrella. It's a random card. It doesn't change anything. Oh, glad we did it. Holy shit, I'm glad we did that. I don't think they win on R&D anymore. There is 6 points in hand. Yeah, there's the Devadatta. So they can't win here, I don't think. The last hybrid, no! That's okay. Hey, good game. Yeah, that draw actually helped us out. And obviously it's just a random card. So like if you think the umbrella cost the game, nah, it's fully random. But the umbrella draw saved the 3-pointer. Just fully random. It's like picking the top deck of the second card is straight random. But yeah, we could have scored it out. We had the what's it called, the 5-3 that we could have pushed. So we definitely could have closed that like 4 turns ago. Need to keep track of what we can do with Moonpool because I need to lock in and remember it's there and be like, okay, that's a free advancement. That's the way you have to look at Moonpool. It's just like, imagine you have a seamless launch on the table because at a minimum, it's a seamless launch on the table. And if you pre-install it, it's better than seamless launch on the table. Oh, you can keep juicing it? So I can break it with multiple different interfaces and draw multiple cards. Break up to 3 code gates. Oh, so if there's multiple subroutines, you can break it, break it, break it. Wait, what? Wait, I don't get it. For just trading 2C into a single card? Because it's up to. So there's multiple subroutines. You can break 1. Then you can break the second. Then you can break a third. But you're paying 6 for 3 cards. Oh, because you can break 0? Oh, no, because if you break 1, at least a card was drawn. So just free card draw. And by free, I mean incredibly expensive. Like 2 credits per card draw. At least 3 includes 0? Yeah, but if you don't break at least 1, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, for sure. That tracks. Neat. Tinker from Intervati, yeah. I couldn't find time to purge it again. The Botu, the 6 strength Botu looked rough. I wish I had the Samox in the deck. With Tattoo and Samak. That sounds really hard. Need to find that 1x Monkey Wrench for that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know it. Yeah, definitely a Monkey Wrench in this list. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of decks that want to pay 2 credits for a card draw. Admittedly, it's nice to know that's a thing because if you're ever in a panic situation, you can clicklessly draw cards, and that will be the difference between losing and not losing a lot of times. Oh, the cool is Rising Tide. Oh, that tracks. Cool. So we've been streaming for about 2.5 hours. We haven't lost power. Let's go play some LEO. I really hope the money from the eggs.ca people comes in soon, because I'm out of eggs. Jai was talking in the chat that the cool thing about this deck is that it doesn't feel like there's two games that you have the same different. You have always a different scoring pattern and different agendas in the score area. I totally miss that this has a sericulture in it, which seems actually really, really important. But yeah, you're very scrappy, very opportunistic of what you can do, your opponent's hand size. Like that has the vibe of the sort of like loud decks from the last meta that like you're basically trying to do the annoying thing and push forward. And even in the last couple of games, like some of the games were all about like, oh, let's be annoying with FUT. Some of them were like, oh, we're just going to fast advance and just have a 2-iced remote server. Like it's very, very cool how flexible this is. Let's do something that the cards have less text on them. Quick slot 3 Cyber Sand Harvesters. I mean, I'm good. LEO time. Okay, we talked about this list earlier during the stream, so the timestamps are going to be kind of in a weird spot. But this is Laura's list. Came second at Vancouver Megacities. I have yet to watch any of the finals games, but it's a very cool list. Early Regolith has been so good in LEO. We have one influence for the Lord, so you can do with that as you want. The Agenda Suite, or sorry, the Ice Suite, it's healthy. I've never ran 2 uncells. 1 tier is like not unreasonable, especially with ADTs that can install it for free if you're lucky. But it is a pretty good piece of ice. 7 strength does help a heck of a lot. The Mitras are really cool. 2 Mershas, I haven't played that. I've always played 3. The Managrams I like a lot. Tranquility is just such an all-star. And then having the Scape Net instead of Seamlesses and 3 Greasings is new to me, which is kind of cool. Yeah, this picture is sick. This picture is really, really funny. Still learning to pilot it. At least it feels like I'm always learning. Yes. Yeah. Can you expand my culture any day, Cranked? Sarah Culture Expansion is a good drag name. All right, let's give this a shot. God, I got way too many tabs open. I think the last time an LEO deck did something at a tournament, apologies if I'm forgetting your favorite LEO deck, was like at the early Polish Nationals? Mega Cities, excuse me. Wolf 2, sick. Okay, cool. It's a 40 card Zaya. Maybe I'll run events. Thanks, you too. All right, early game's gonna be suck. It's going to be suck. It's going to suck. It's not gonna be very good against Zaya, let alone a Wolf 2 Zaya. This is where this is a total brick. 2 Fly Swatters. This is the worst against Criminal. Against all of their matchups, it's pretty good. Don't love it against Criminal. So we're going to mulligan this and hope for the best. Early game's pretty bad. It got worse. It got much worse. It got so much worse. It got so much worse. Oh, God. Oh, send help. Oh, fuck. It's bad. Oh. Christ. Go, it's worse. All right, the HB meta is not just, it's just not getting there. It's just not good. It's just like not a lot of HB decks out there. Yeah, it's just not a lot of options. Just the agenda suite's really bad. Just feels like the early game's just bad. Just gonna play it out. I probably should have drawn once more. Get an ice down. Yeah, the other VA is like horrendous. Yeah, that's fine. No big deal. Sick. Didn't trash that. Has a big butt on it. Can't steal from R&D. Don't you... Are we knifing? There's no shot you're deep diving. Yeah, it's a knife. That's fine. Literally, knife is the least of our issues. Knife into chest. Okay. The deck has... It's just a straight Jade deck. Okay, so honestly, super happy about that. LEO is good into this sort of shit. That could have gone so much worse for us. Fuck off. Didn't run this. Yeah, Wolf 2 plus Knife doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think things are going pretty good. Now, the second Knife could go in this turn. I'm assuming if they had it, they would have not played the box. Okay, Mitra again. Don't run R&D here. Okay, never mind. We have problems. We definitely have problems. how many knives do we see in the deck? How many knives do we see in the deck when they searched? Okay, this is going good. There's one more knife in the deck, but that might have been the one they got. Sick. Okay, that's cool. This is good. 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 We need to get some card draw here. Great. This will hold down the whole fort. This one's really, really valuable because it ends the run. There's no way that their hand is knife into Estebrado, because then we just lose the game. I'm not going to greasing because obviously I don't care about that. Better. Much better. Okay, this has text. There's ice in this deck? Yeah, 16. 16 ice. Sorry about the rest of your turn, friend. The Rediscussing Knife decks is the earliest it can win is turn 3. Yeah, I know. Deep Dive can win on turn 1. Load-bearing Regolith. I mean, it's not even that good. So I think we just leave R&D open because we're holding literally every single agenda in the deck. So we're going to put a second agenda here. We're not on threat, so we don't have to worry about Estebrado, which is in the list. So that's all we'll do. And I think we'll just empty the Regolith and go a bit slow. So we'll put this on HQ. We'll just crank this button. We can still win. Play on the early flood by letting the score 3 knives is a really sick counterplay. Yeah, that's right. You still scored no agendas. Sanjay, how's it going? I'm assuming we're losing everything here. Wow, kept the Trank. Love it. Class act. That is the best last card they could have had in their hand. I don't think this is going to do anything. Big older sibling energy. You're okay. You're okay. Don't tell mom. There's like this vibe scale about meetings, and in the bottom left corner of the worst mood, it was like mom would be upset or something, and it really gets me. Okay, the thing is our agendas are good. This is an unorthodox play angle. You think you're going to trash your Tranquility, but in fact we have 2 Tranquilities. I'm just going to put some of these cards back in. I want the Mersha, I want the Greasing. Yeah, backstitching is a problem. So like this deals with it. We don't have a Byroid yet. MIC is pretty good. Good old Asa AU draws another agenda. This one's good though. This is what we genuinely want. Nuka feels good. I think they're gonna like be annoying on the server, but like they have no points. If they steal agendas from their remote server, like who's laughing? Who's laughing? We might not res this and just pretend it's a Managarm. I don't know how they deal with MIC easily. If they steal the ADT, we feel bad, but this Mitra's never going to do anything. That's the problem. There's no way for us to do anything with this. We have to overinstall it. It might actually be right to put the... Oh, no, because we fired Tranquility. But yeah, this is... There's no reason for them to run this. Okay. We can work with this. We can top deck a Seamless. We might not. If we get a tier, we'll just put it on HQ and get it backstitched or something. All right, so we can res the MIC. If we res the MIC, they get another credit. If we res the Tattoo Bola, we have a Tattoo Bola. I think I'd rather keep our credits up. That's always nice, Red Beans. Yeah, but they'll never run it. That's only when they approach this. 3, 6, 9. There's like not a lot of points in the deck. There's 9 points in 32. Like, I think the floor on Mitra is totally fine, but the issue is like, why would they ever run this? They could think this is a Mitra. I mean, it's here already. So at any turn we could lose. We have to worry about Estebrado. We haven't found a Byroid yet. Oh, sick. Wait, can I not fire it? Can I not fire this? But if they maintenance access, they don't have clicks. Oh, now with the Jade Chinyu down. Can I not fire this? I guess I can't fire it. It's fine. Reading the card explains the card. I mean, they trashed it. We're happy. It says something about ice. I don't know. Okay, we have a Boomy. That probably goes into archives. We'll put this here. And then we'll advance this. We'll score that out next turn. We can win in 3 turns. Put so many words on a red upgrade, and they want me to read half of them. Again, not a lot of points in there. No Hermes. Sick. It's funny that we're not icing R&D. We probably should ice R&D. I don't think we need to do 3. We'll do 3 ice HQ 1-1. But we'll see what happens with this ADT. Maybe we advance it twice instead of the Mitra. The Mitra doesn't do anything, but it looks like anything else. They know we have a Mitra. Mitra just Adrian, it will never know. Yeah, I like it a bit better. Melandra, that's pretty good for them. We're not on threat 4. But that's a scary card. So they could threaten to win. Oh, I'd love to have the Brawn. Spin Doctor, send a message. Architect deployment test, hedge fund seamless launch. Literally bad. Literally very bad. Shockingly bad. Genuinely awful. Surprisingly bad. 10 ice in the deck. Yeah, ADT in the remote server. We know we're not going to be drawing this the seamless, but that's the agenda we want to push. So we'll probably get another one. Architect on Trank, yeah. And then we can fire the Trank. We don't want to draw because then it's a send a message on top. They could trash the spin. We have to reveal this as an agenda, right? Yeah, they know that this is here. This is a sign that scoring agendas is cringe. Wolf 2 clearly understands this. I just wanted a little Brawn or a little tier somewhere. I don't think they can threaten this. Oh, yeah, now they can. Oh, no, they can't. Because we res this, they can't Melandra Gem the MIC. So they're forcing a res here. They can't deal with the MIC, though, because Melandra Gem is stuck on threat strength 3 or fewer. As soon as we score this ADT, they can deal with the MIC. But then we can trash the MIC, so then they... Yeah, here they bypass this. It doesn't do anything. I don't know if this ever lands. If they're assuming we can't res this. Install the spin, res him, and then shuffle the deck back. Yeah, but then we end up drawing the send a message. I don't know what's going on here. You don't want to encounter this. It has bad subroutines. I mean, I'll let you if you want to. Like, you can't... Why do they... I don't think this... That's not how this works. Yeah, I think... Yeah. It's... Yeah. So, yeah. So they thought if they Melandra Gem them, but the Estebrado just hits on the first ice. It's like inside job. You can't. Yeah, they wolfed. Shows me right. Yeah, they wolfed too hard. So that's an Estebrado out, which is good. Yeah, so they can't click this. They were trying to Melandra Gem this and then Debrado the MIC. We know this is a Spin Doctor, which we're going to lose that. If they run back, we get a free MIC res, which is okay. Yeah, it's only threat 2 right now, and this is threat 4. All the runner cards, I believe, are threat 4, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Conrad! Yeah, we lost, we had too much heat, so the electricity didn't work yesterday. How you doing? Also, Tech, how's it going? Okay, so what's the rest of the deck? So the top of the deck is Hedge Fund Seamless. So we could draw Hedge Fund, top deck is Seamless, put a Bronze somewhere. That seems fine. Because we can score this next turn, and then we'll have an open top of the deck, and then we actually can jam out the vulnerability out of it, maybe. We actually might have wanted to advance the Architect once so that we could Seamless advance jam the vulnerability and then hope we draw another Seamless. Oh, they're on dolls. Oh, fuck, that's bad. Luckily, we have an MIC and a cheap Byroid, so they probably don't have enough clicks. They need a click gainer, if I'm not mistaken, because this is -1 click, this is -1 click. So we need to have credits for this. Regolith, Greasing, Offworld, Brawn. That's pretty good. So the remote server, they can now bypass this. So the remote server is not even safe. We have no Byroid in the bin. So the question is, where do we put the Brawn? I think we have to put it on R&D. Melandra Gem was removed from the game. So ideally, they want to use the top text and then the bottom text. So Brawn. I think we put the Brawn on R&D. The problem is we don't have a Mana Garm coming up. Server 3, surely? The thing is, like, we lose. Couldn't they take the core from Boomy? It's not about them clicking through it. It's about that we can trash it because we're playing LEO. I don't think I said Sky Eater. Yeah, maybe we put it on server 3, but then they can click through that. Then the MIC holds. So what happens if they run this, right? So now we're on 4. So they can Melandra Gem. We crack the MIC. Yeah, I guess we have to make the push. It might be right to put this on central servers. My presumption to put this on central is because we're 1 knife away. And the server's already pretty good. They don't know what this is. Yeah, R&D IMO. Okay, but I agree with you. I'd rather put on R&D because we're 1 knife from losing and we're 1 trick from losing because now we have to res this. Yeah, I don't like what we did. I like R&D and then we just jam the Regolith and recover. Because a free Brawn here would have been sick. Hey, Wargle. What's the world come to? It's not that close. It's not our list. Yeah, I like the R&D call a fair bit more. Cool. So now we're just going to jam the regolith regardless. If we res this, we bottom out pretty hard, but it's fine because this has reasonable text. So they can't let this fire, so they have to break it. So either they spend like at least 3 with Matryoshka, if not they use a Melandra charge. So we're probably just going to install the regolith and empty it for a bit and then push. They use a Melandra charge. Okay, good. So now there's only 1 bypass on this. Double Matryoshka? Shit. Yeah, we just lose to money. We did mess up. You could deny the credits? Oh, fuck, you're right. We should have Boomy. Threw the Boomy because we have a Mitra too. Oh, yeah, it was worth LEOing there by a mile. Yeah, that was 6 credits and they need money with Matryoshka. Oh, that was very, very bad. Beans. Yeah, that was bad. I forgot we could do that. Spitefully, it's probably worth it. They definitely need those 6 credits because credits is, you don't mind? I manned. Oh, I knew my man though. You don't mind? I guess we lose to maintenance though. No, we still have the brawn. I mean, let's call it worse. Yeah, it might be right to trash the Boomy there. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, how do we get out of this? This is not a chip, it's just a weapon, right? Yeah. Yeah, Duckland, we can push the regolith and it's fine. I don't want to show it. Yeah, Jalen, I think it was like with the Mitras, you can be a bit more aggressive with using the Boomies because you just want them in the bin. If we do vulnerability, we're on 3, so we can do vulnerability, credit, advance, and threaten to win on that turn. But if they run through the Brawn, they can Melandra Gem the Brawn, Tattoo Bola swap. Oh, very cool. Respect. Oh, shit. No stress. Yeah, maybe maintenance access is the reason we don't want to do that, because now maintenance access, it's all good. Because if we trash this, then they can do maintenance access, run archives, run IND, and then we lose. So maybe it's actually right to keep this. So either we push a vulnerability audit and see, like, we have to really read what they're going to do here. Because this server they can run, they can triple click through the Brawn. They can't do that because of LEO. So they have to pay through the Brawn. Then they have to pay through the Tattoo Bola. And then the MIC we can't res. Vaughn might be enough, I know, but if they click through the Brawn, well, they can't. They pay through the Brawn, play through the Tattoo Bola, and then this Mitra does nothing. We could crack the Mitra to get 3 credits. So maybe we push the vulnerability because then we have Mitra plus MIC. That's enough credits. So if we go this to 3, we go advanced, we go to 4, yeah. So I think we do it. Yeah, Mitra without swap gives us the 6. It bottoms us out, so we have to survive this turn. We're probably going to have to crack either a MIC or a Boomy or both. But if we spend no money here, we can score out next turn. We know the top of the deck is Regolith, but it's not the top of the deck, it's the Jaichinyos. This is cool. They might not know we're in Vuln Audit. Obviously, they saw no agendas. They just saw Mitras. You can hardcast a Rego? Yeah. I don't think we're going to need that much more money, though. Once we can res the MIC, we're kind of don't have a big reason for having money. Maybe they have a transfer of wealth play, but I'd be very surprised if they're playing transfer. Transfer would be ugly for us. But I think if they transfer through this, the remote server, they can't really contest. So maybe they think we have a seamless, and this is a 5-3, or maybe they're playing about vulnerability audit. This is cool. Do they get in here? If they click through the Brawn, the game's over. They can't do that. So they have to break this. Or Melandra Gem it. And even if they steal this, like, who cares? I'm forgetting we're not on game point. We're just on knife point. So if they steal a vulnerability audit, we're fine. Okay, they're keeping a click, so we can at least bottom out. We'll fire the Unbroken. We have no text. I wish we had a Tattoo Bola swap. We don't. This is where Mitra is like so rude. Like imagine we can make this an on-sell. I guess they would Matryoshka it, but yeah, I know. So we can choose to protect the server. We have a couple ways of doing it. We obviously can't score out, but it actually might be okay to give them the vulnerability audit and we just do it again next turn. I think it would be better to give it next turn because if we trash some of our ice, it's easier for them to get a next turn. This vulnerability audit doesn't do much for their game plan. We need them to expend resources. They could jack out here and just lose the click because we're on 0, so we're not threatening much. If they pay 5, we're really happy here. So again, we can force the click, they spend the click. We could force the bronze, they spend the bronze. So I think we just do this again next turn. They have a full read on the server, so again, if they want to double click through this, we can then do MIC into Braun. Yeah, it is super cringe. So I think we're actually pretty comfortable here. Oh, need money though. Yeah, that's true. So if we install vulnerability audit, we can do credit, but then we need a top deck of seamless. And we know the next top deck is what's after a regolith. We have a greasing coming up, an offworld. So it's greasing offworld next. So you just empty the regolith, but that gives them a turn. Greasing is what, 3 or 2 to play? I think it's 3. There's no way of telling. I think it's 3 for 5. Yeah, 3 for 5. So we can install regolith. We can take 3 off the regolith. So I think we just install regolith, take 6, and then next turn we jam. I think that's okay. Imagine if knives were chips. I know. It'd be so easy because it RFGs it. Pretend Rego's agenda. Yeah, maybe that's even better is we don't take the Rego money because we don't need money. We just need a, yeah, take 2. I like that line a lot because we just need this to look like an agenda because we actually don't need more than 4 credits. Oh, Lucille, you're not watching live. That was last week's taping where we were talking about religion. This one's about pets. Yeah, as soon as we res this, they have no interest running it, but now they have to consider running it. Especially because we thought about that. They're on 3 credits. They did fire the class act. Yeah, we're going to be jamming every turn, that's for sure. We just need to be jamming when we have at least 4 for the vulnerability audit. They can't Estebrado the remote server, but we'll see if they have like boomerangs or other tricks. The second Melandra gem seems important. I don't think we get knifed on 3, especially with LEO and MIC. And the big old Braun. Like, they just need to get money up. Carpe Diem was good. So I don't know what they need, but vibes-based, MIC and Boomy, I don't think they can knife us. They would need a click gainer. So if they drop a Hannah... I don't understand why they're playing Zaya if they're playing Knife. I guess smaller deck, but like, oh my god, we'd be so scared against Sable. Because this hasn't fired that much. Third Matryoshka, very cool. So this costs 2 clicks, then they break all of this. If they're on 1 click, we can do Brown into MIC and we're guaranteed. If they want to break this, they have to run click 2 at a minimum, because if they run click 3, they're cooked. So they have to do, the best they could do is like hedge fund. Yeah, maybe they're on Swift, you're right. If they do hedge fund, they're on 10, 14, and then I think they can do this. No, they can only do 1 hedge fund. So the most they can be is on 10 credits. On 6 credits, what can they do here with 3 cards in hand? I think we just jam it. I'm officially no longer qualified to evaluate board state. I think we just do vulnerability advance. I think we keep the greasing in hand. I don't think we're going to need money. So we could res the regolith. Take 3. So that's a click for 1. So we shouldn't give the information. We should just install on top of it. It's more confusing. I think you can draw once. If we draw once, it gets the agenda off the top of R&D. Maybe that's worth it. Because we know there's an off-world office on top. Yeah. Yeah, I like that actually. I think that's because we know the R&D run's going to happen. Got me. We could have drawn off of this, but this is worth 2 credits. The draw is worth 1 credit. We'll advance. We'll throw out the Rego because it's trashable. Escape Net probably doesn't do anything actually. Yeah, I'd like to have a card to jam. I don't like holding agendas and trashables because if they run back, obviously they can trash and then see a better shot, but I don't think they're going to be running back. A definite huh. And a hum. So 6 cards. We've seen no backstitchings. We've seen a Debrado. We saw a bit into the list, so they're probably on at least 2. But Debrado is a click. And if they spend a click on the Debrado, so they can always run here, like Flight Swatter, they can bypass MIC. They probably want to bypass the Bronze. So they like break, bypass this. The problem is they lose a click to the MIC, and then they lose a click to the Boomy. So it's not possible. They have to contest this. But on 6 credits, I don't think they can, because they basically can't click to the Brawn. I wish we had 1 more ice to make the Brawn actually have text. Or a Mana Garm. This would be so easy. Fibonacci ice. Server 4 is going to be sick. Wolf 2 isn't known for that. You sure you want to take that path? That is a not well-trodden path for Wolf 2. The tank, as they call it. The wolf emerges sweaty and uncomfortable, having learned very little, just more assured of its own natural ways. It howls and plays finality. Just play the finality already. We don't know anything about the top of the deck. Okay, card draw, that's really good. Second card draw, that means we're locked. Server 3 cannot be run unless it's Light the Fire. No, even that, yeah, we win. I don't see how we lose here unless it's a finality. Credit. That's it. We got it. Oh, top deck seamless. Not that we needed it, but how sick would have that been? Let's just do it for style. That was our opening into that matchup. Good game. Yeah. GG. My opening was horrendous. 9 points. No ice. Glad to survive. 2 knives. Yeah. knives. Yeah, Mitra. Table Mitra is like just messed up. Yeah, that's the thing, is like knives makes you not touch cards, and then you kind of end up outside of the ecosystem of like, oh wait, their hand was awful. Like if our opponent wasn't on knives, we lose that game, I would say 100%. But because they're on knives, their first 2 turns were pretty prescribed. Get knife in, get knife in. If they saw that hand, their right play was run HQ, run HQ, run HQ, run HQ, in terms of context of how bad that opening was, and we lose to that 100% of the time. Laura, congratulations! How's it going? Yeah. The thing is, like, the knife didn't incentivize our wolf to touch cards, which is like the downside of this. I think it does force you to play sometimes awkward Netrunner. Again, it almost worked. Like, we almost got absolutely killed, but super weird comeback. Yeah, Laura, congratulations. I'm playing some LEO. It's been fun so far. We have 1 game. We had a terrible opening, but it shouldn't be like that. That is going to be a problem. I'm just going to recreate the lobby and create no spectators. I don't know if this is happening intentionally. Yeah. I'll recreate. I don't know if someone's doing that intentionally to spam the room. That would be pretty upsetting. We've seen that name before though. And they haven't been like a dickhead. How do you ban spectators? Oh, first box. Cool. Deep Dive would have cooked you on turn 1? I don't think so. We had like 9 points in hand. I think we survived it. All right. Oh, Asa. Probably not gonna be great. This might be the Asa list of the week, which is like on Begamut and Cacophony. I don't know what our game plan against that is. We have a lot of ice, but that list does a lot of damage without running. It's like even more set on not running is my guess. We have ice that's pretty good into Banhar though. A lot of subroutines, we can trash it. LEO can perform some wild comebacks, 100%. Yeah, that mid to late game, once you realize like, wait, they can't run anything with guarantee, is like a really, really fun turning point. Doing reps with an archetype I have traditionally never understood. I hope I finally understood. Oh, cool. Super cool. Best of luck. Have fun. Yeah. Not the biggest Asa fan. This hand's okay. Boomy could do something. Botchless is in the list. I mean, if we draw an econ card, this is fine. Maybe we have to play around Chestushka, but the list published isn't on Chestushka. I'm going to keep this. We don't have an obvious play here. We have ice. I think like a Regolith would be great. Mull for dollars, it might be correct. We might not have a game if we don't have money. And maybe that's the game we're going to be having today. All right, we can draw double install. That's good for early. I think we'll just put an unsell. We have no interest in rezzing this anytime soon. Yeah, Regolith would be fantastic. So I don't know the cacophony list, the cacophony list to know whether it's playing Nuke or not. I'm assuming it is. We'll see how soon. We want to keep a full hand so we can sabotage. It actually might have been right to sabotage on sell. Why not Tattoo? I want Tattoo for their remote server because off centrals, if they run R&D and we res a Tattoo Bola, they probably bounce. Where like Tattoo Bola on their remote server, it's more likely to get Botulist. It's really good to Banhar, so you want to do your real ice and then Tattoo in front. And then Banhar is forced through the Tattoo so that you get 4 credits and then the ice behind it. I think your positioning with Tattoo Bola has to be considered. It's also our cheapest thing to jam behind if we get a Regolith, where like the problem with Braun is they can click through it. The problem with MIC, it's very expensive. So there's another good reason why we want to keep this for the remote. Gourmand, that's really aggressive. MIC on innermost is what I needed versus Pylo? Yeah, for sure. Running Haunt, okay. I don't think we're going to need them a virus. Managram's pretty good. Lost a spin. That's abysmal. But I was thinking about the influence spend. Why do you think of dropping Mav and slotting another Tattoo? I'm interested to hear what Laura says. My experience with triple Tattoo is like you get farmed by Kurapira a bit too hard. They're showing a Botchus in the bin. They definitely are, but we're not really at the point that we can res this Mavirus for 3. This is a good start. Yeah, Mav is going to be relevant in the matchup now with the Fermenter as well. So that might have been wrong. Maybe we get rid of one of our expensive ice. But yeah, the 3 Tattoos is good because you can get through the early game, but then you end up in situations where like you just can't res them into Kurapira. Because it's only you got 1 strength ice and then bronze. And so like the value proposition for your opponent gets pretty bad. That's good. Let's get something we want to push behind it. Oh no, do 2 core damage. It was originally a 3rd Mitra, actually, Lamau. Oh, that's that might be a bit too many for me, but I can see it. Mitra's sick when we fill our bin on tempo. So if they poke, I mean, we can get the Anagarm behind MIC and they can take some bunch of damage. I want to keep our hand full, so we'll probably just like greasing and install 1 card. Fly Swatter is also very good, so we could do like Fly Swatter Tattoo, but we might just do Fly Swatter. We want to have Fly Swatter on their remote server. If they're playing Chestushka, we should just put the Tattoo on HQ. I can't tell if this is Tattoo or not. Jam behind Tattoo, we have nothing to jam really. Banharo will obviously interact with that, which is not bad. We'll just pretend that they're on Chestushka and they're playing an older list. I think they're probably on an older list because I just want to check really quickly if the published list was on Ashen. My guess is it's not. Oh, it is. Okay. So if it's this, it's not on Chestushka, but if it's on Chestushka, I would put the Tattoo Bowl on HQ. Was that list on? Yeah, it looks like this list, but they all look the same, don't they? Yeah, Gourmand. Okay, I'm assuming it's this list. Thinking. Okay, so let's not protect HQ as much. So the remote server we could grease out. The Tattoo on the outside. MIC on the inside is pretty good. We want the Fly Swatter to hit somewhere. I guess that's our turn. Boomy denies Chestushka. Yeah, if we want to send it, we can. We can always just like throw it out. That's fine. Maybe if they have a second one, but they can't really afford it. Yeah, we are LEO after all. That's a good point. We'll see where they put this. The list is on 2 finality if it's the one I think it is. So like there's a bit more pressure here. Of course, rezzing for 6 is bad because then we have 1 credit. We can always like force 3 damage and then pop the LEO, but this is where like Boomy's really good. The cheapest trigger you have. And man, I missed the 3rd Mersha. Our hand here with Mersha would be so good. We get the moving Mersha and we get all this ice installed clicklessly and like creditlessly, which is going to be a rate limiting fact. I'm interested, Laura, how you got down to the 2 Mersha. Draws on mass is either Ice Flood, Agenda Flood, Extreme Caution, can't tell which. A lot of times against SI, I just want to keep my hand full. Just so that if they do Sabotage, I throw out here the tier. And probably the Managarm, maybe not. Luckily, all our agendas are in R&D, so we want to not Sabotage from the top of the deck, especially with a Spin Doctor out. This we might not res until they put down a Botulus. 1 Botulus is in the bin. The list does have recursion. It has no recursion, it has 2 Botuluses. It's hard to pre-install Botuluses against LEO. So that Fermenter was 2 clicks for 3 credits, not particularly good. So I wonder if they're respecting. Oh, that's amazing. They can't ask for better there. But they're probably playing around Fly Swatter. But yeah, pre-installing the Botulus is pretty rough. All right, so we res this. We probably just don't res it because it's a raindrops. If it was any other run, we'd res it, but like having the boomy here is totally fine. So it's a raindrops. We'll just let this access through. They can't even trash the Managarm. I just found I didn't like my opening hands. Trying to afford it, turn one just ends up trashed. I mean, they need to trash it. I think you have to protect it a bit, but it's just like such a flexible card. Okay, it's getting worse. Kind of seems ideal. Banner's already dealing with it. Yeah, but it trashes the boomy and does 2 damage. If it wasn't a raindrops, I'd consider it. So here, I think we want to just keep Edward busy. Now they'll probably run back. So we can draw once, install the Managarm, install the Tattoo. We'll get the Force Tattoo swap. Oh, they could have, I'm surprised they didn't brand with Gourmand. So probably put Bank 3, assume 1, 2 got trashed. Just a good card. Just allows you to play good Netrunner, and you just want to be playing consistent good Netrunner. Banhar's on remote server. If this gets rinsed, we get a Tattoo Bullet swap, which is fantastic. We can get his Fly Swatter out there. We'll see if they run or not. Yeah, I love it. This is why you keep your Bolas. Hit a Banhar, fine. We do have the Cacophony Trasher. We'll swap with the Fly Swatter. If they want to continue, we can res this. We also can just res the Managarm, and the Managarm survives. This is 6 credits. This is a bit cheaper. Oh, this is bad because it does core damage, but it trashes the Gourmand. But the core damage is not great. So we'll throw out the tier. So we'll trash the Botulus, and then this fires. So not the worst. Not the best. Because like doing core damage to Asa is like not great because it fires Asa. Asa doesn't have to suffer. That was there all along. Always has been. Yeah, congrats, Laura. That's fantastic. I want to watch some of the replays. I haven't watched. I only got day 1. So we'll trash the Gourmand. We hit a Strike Fund. Bummer. And now Asa sabotages. So we're going to get rid of... We could get rid of the vulnerability auto last click if we wanted to. We'll get rid of the tier and the swatter, I think. We might be better throwing out the vulnerability audit, honestly. Because it's a 1 in 3. And then we have... Yeah, I'm thinking about this. We could try that. The problem is we already lost a Spin Doctor, so don't feel great about it. Been low until false sense of security. It might be worthwhile to throw the boomy at the runner. Yeah, if Edward runs through the boomy to be able to force the core damage, we can just throw the boomy before they say like subroutines resolve. Before subroutines resolve, we can throw it because it's a paid ability window. So they break first, and then if they pass priority, we can throw it. That one does have the property. Oh, if that survived, we could have considered jamming it. Actually, we have a money problem. Okay. Speaking of a money problem, we have a money problem. Oh, fantastic. So putting this in a remote server keeps a remote server busy. They can definitely contest a remote server, but on top of the Managarm, it's hard. So at least that's a good draw there. And it brings back the vulnerability audit and the Spin Doctor. They really need to find a Ghost Tongue or Marrow. We're happy sabotaging with the Spin Doctor there, but we need a Tranquility to bring this together. Boomy can be a liability. I'm not sure how often Asa wants valueless core. Yeah, there's some turns where it's like the play, but I do think you can always just throw it before they let it fire, which is kind of cute. Banhar's on R&D, which is strange, so maybe they're considering a finality. How does this do against Pinhole? I mean, fine, we just pop it, but there's one Pinhole in the deck and it's already in the bin. Pinhole seems good. It's a weird card in Asa because it's very powerful, and Asa doesn't always have the luxury of holding cards in their hand because you can just lose it to random damage, let alone Banhar or core damage. So it's like a card that I've never been sold on, but it's very good. You need Thread and Spin Doctors. That's the third. Oops, that's the third Banhar. Okay, what are we doing here? I just want to get credits, which is pretty rough. So we can like Mersha HQ. Honestly, the game is an R&D, and they've been Banharing R&D. So I think we just do Mersha on R&D, credit, res Mersha, put a Tattoo Bola. I don't like how slow we're going. I don't know if that favors us or not. Spin draw for Grease. I want to hide the spin for a while. That might be wrong, but I want them to think that there's no spin on the table. That could be wrong. Maybe we have to push the game forward, but I'm pretty good with our late game. The thing is, like, if the spin draws a Regolith or anything to jam, we're in a bad spot. So I kind of want to like control our draw a bit. Yeah, I like Mersha cred, and the outermost tattoo into Banhar is so good. Yeah, this is Laura's deck. I shouted this earlier, but Sundarian did a great write-up talking about like organizing the event and all the struggles and all the like nice, sweeter points of it. Banhar on server 1, cool. Probably won't res any of that. The Mana Garm is doing enough on its own. This is 2 clicks or 5 credits, and then you still have to trash it for 3. Mystic Miami will be pretty good here. Like a good sure gamble. Should play that deck next. Forget what it is. Is it like a Pudma deck? Oh, installing a Fermenter into the Fly Swatter feels bad, but I don't think we end up resing this. I think we just keep our money. On 4 credits, it means the Mana Garm is going to be 2 clicks and 3 credits, so it's most of the turn. Starting to get hyped for Montreal. Got my plane tickets recently. I need to work on the cards today because early bird tickets ends in a couple of days and we don't have the full cards out yet. I need to do that tomorrow, I think. And so that I can show them off in a video. Yeah, undefeated on the weekend. I don't think we res any of this. So we'll res the spin. It's a Mitra into a spin. So in theory, we actually can let this get trashed. Oh no, there's already a spin, so we probably shouldn't. I'm going to ask for access. Nah, it doesn't change anything. So if they want to click through this and trash it down to 1 credit, we're relatively happy, especially because we have a Fly Swatter here and we have a Mitra. That's perfect. So we could do Mitra, Regolith, Res Regolith, or we can just leave it on the table. If we do Regolith, install Res, we discard a card, which you want to kind of avoid doing. Oh no, we can Mersha. Double Fly Swatter in their mode server for Mersha is pretty good. I don't think this deck is going to struggle with Code Gates. I hate resing this, but I think we do because we just want to empty it. Cool. Got my North American cons tickets. I'm not positive I can make it. Pretty sure I can gotcha pull one of the triggers at some point. Yeah, you got to pull one of the triggers. I hear you. Thank you for buying the ticket. Excited if you can make it out for sure. It's a Magdalene deck that uses the mantle to boost twinning on both players' turn. Oh, super cool. Yeah, we have 3 alt arts we're working on right now for cons. 2 of them, I'll just double check with the other organizers. That was another 2 clicks for 3 credits for Mentor, which I'm not scared about. That's a Marrow. We'll get rid of a Brawn, and I think we'll just top deck it. We got rid of Tranquility. Not the best, but not the worst. And a Finality. Okay. That is going to drop us to 5 credits, so we can't res. This Finality is going to go through. Interesting. Maybe we should have kept the Mersha there. We get the Tattoo Bola. So that's going to crack. So we can do the swap, which we need to financially. But the problem is we're 1 credit short of this on sell. If we could res this on sell, it would be an absolute disaster. If this is a Boomy, it'd be pretty bad too. The thing is they play 2 core damage on a single turn, so this is just 4 card access. That's not good for us because all our agendas are functionally in the deck. So we could just straight lose to this. The numbers don't support that. But we could just straight lose to this. Trashable. Flashbacks, uh-oh. Yeah, I think we could get the Mersha R&D. I know the deck's on 2 finalities, so there is a bit of threat there. And the way that Edward was putting their Banhar a couple turns ago, okay, that's great. They clearly wanted to send that pretty aggressively. So they know the next 3 cards. That means we can, like, in theory, sabotage. Tranquility is the one that they were considering. So this is Brawn into unsell. So I think we just gain 6 and we can slide Mersha back and then put the Tattoo Bowl in front and just like chill. Yeah, we're pretty good. Full whiff? No, they got 2 points. They're down to 1 hand size though. So we'll just keep this. I think they're non-Chastushka. Make the call that Rego safe. You can't get annoying to get the point where Tranquility is somewhat mood. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's always a hard one. I think the way that they're doing their, they wanted to talk about their feedback, but the way that they're using the fermenters, you have to be careful. It feels really good to take 4 off a fermenter, but you're functionally spending 2 clicks for 3 credits. Like that's not very good, considering you can click for 2 credits and not spend a card. Just play cool like Laura did to the first twinning dig in the finals. Should very rarely trash Trank out of R&D. Yes. Yeah, 4 is a lot, and we just draw a different card. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, usually. So we know the next 2 cards we're not drawing an agenda, so we can break lock with a spin. Ideally, though, the spin should be iced, but we really don't have that luxury. They know what we're drawing. Getting up to 16 be really good. And this server is very hard for them to deal with. Because if they're playing the deck that we think they're playing, this server is very hard. Ooh, I'm building a tab of servers. It cannot deal with this remote server at all. Begamut cannot deal with the server. Botulus cannot deal with the server. Gourmand cannot deal. Like, literally cannot run this server. This is an Asa for a Zenith. Oh, okay. So I think we just get rid of 2 from the top and break lock. So we got rid of a Boomy Brawn. Checking archives, full whiff. I mean, paying 4 to trash Trank is always wrong to trash from R&D, even sucks to trash from HQ. Useless Purge. So now they broke lock for us, which is really good. Remote is impossible, straight impossible. So they've already taken the core damage, so if they take the core damage from Boomy, it's whatever. So we'll see what they're going to do here. I guess they're just taking cards out of hand. We don't care about this Axis unless it hits the spin. And then we do care about it a lot. Fire all? Wait, this'll... Oh, they have hand size. Okay. So I'm not worried about this core damage because they already played a core damage card. So they shouldn't take this core damage for fun. Oh, never mind. It's Banhar. Never mind. All right. They lost a Gourmand. Yeah, it's Banhar. I figured it out. They're drawing 2. In theory, when they hit this, you could trash the Boomy just so they don't draw cards with raindrops. And that might have been correct. Because I don't think this list is on Chestuchka. It might have been fine to trash the Boomy. So no subroutines resolve. Because then they drew cards off of everything they did in that turn. It might have been correct to trash the Boomy. They've discarded 2 cards though, so not the worst. Begamut will come down sooner than later. And our hand is not high on cards. So we'll draw an agenda here, greasing, okay. I guess we open with a spin to keep them busy. It keeps our hand full. I don't even think we do the Trank. The server's just double fly swatter they can't beat. Literally had no way to deal with double fly swatter. I'm not going to grease it because I want cards in hand. Find an agenda, especially an ADT. So we can do Regolith, Jam, ADT. We can keep Mersha here, but I don't think Mersha deals with the server relatively well. So we can slide Mersha to HQ. I don't think we need Mersha here. The vulnerability audit is the big thing if they start running HQ. But there's no HQ multi-axis. This deck's not on cup. So I think we just do score the Regolith, Jam the ADT. Not score, but you know what I mean. Move Mersha. So we can't because we don't have ice. That's something that caught me. I thought you could just move Mersha. No, but you need the ice. Yeah, you can't move Mersha unless you have ice. Trank's not the worst, and like card drop Trank is pretty good because it keeps your hand full. Because that's one of the things is you want to keep your hand full against Asa because then you don't have to sabotage from the top of the deck. Here though, they have to deal with Spin Doctor before anything. It looks like I'm gonna try this server, which we're totally fine. Yeah, that's how it starts. This is a pretty bad Spin Doctor in retrospect. We probably should have just drawn. We could let this get trashed, but we have 1 ablative. We have no drafter. If they trash this for 2, this adds more cards to the deck, which is good. I mean, I'd rather spin a spin back, so it might be okay to let them take this for 2 credits. Running centrals is really good for them because it's a need, so at a minimum, they can run archives always to get value. Yeah. Yeah, that does explain the shape for you. We did draw a lot last turn though, so there's a chance we have points. I think I'm okay with them trashing it. Maybe 2 more cards in the deck is worth it. I can't tell. We want to keep ice in the bin because of Mitra. Maybe greasing Managarm. Yeah, I'll try it. It might be right to leave this. I'm not 100% sure. Notably, Zenith draws only off of Central, so we don't have to worry about that on the Spin Doctor run, but glad they contested it. Okay, so this will take a card out of their hand. They have no way of running this. We could res the MIC to take their turn away. That's a good hit. So MIC drops us down to 8. We score the ADT, we're down to 5. I think we just res the Fly Swatter because it's cheaper, but they can't break this. The deck has no way of dealing with double Fly Swatter. And that's why I like playing 2 Fly Swatters. This card is so good. Paladin, okay. See if Mystic leaves or no. There was no sabotage that turn with Asa, which is nice. And they're down to 3 hand size. Hit the Steel Skin, fantastic. I think we just score this, see what happens. We'll know the top of the deck, which helps against sabotage as well. So it's Greasing the Palm, Off-World Office, Managarm, Skunkworks, Spin Doctor, Vulnerability Audit. So we know that the spin is down there. We know if we sabotage, we're going to hit Greasing, and then we can throw the on-sell from hand. So I think we just jam... What do we jam here? I think we move Mersha to HQ. The big Begamot's going to come down sooner than later. But actually, no, we can't move Mersha because we want to keep the Tattoo Bola eyes. Push the off-world? Yeah, I like the off-world push more. Yeah, I'm cool with that. It keeps the top of the deck safe too. They know it's in here, but there's nothing they can do. Oh, we have to Marrow. Oh, that's really interesting. So Marrow hits a Greasing or a random card from hand. That would mean the top of the deck becomes Manic Spin Doctor, which we can't do that. So I think we just trash the... I think we do trash the top of the deck, so we keep HQ safe. We're good here on Mersha. Next turn, we can probably just do double advance off-world. We would like the money. And we're going to be forced to res credits here. This is why, again, Tattoo Bola on the outside. It's really good for us. What is their reset button? Ashen, and then they have a Buffer Drive. Okay, so they have no Katurga. Buffer Drive hasn't shown up yet. Oh, no, it has. So they have, once they get to the bottom of the deck, they have no shot of, we just have to survive 12 more cards. And a bunch of those cards are 2-card plays, right? Like Begamot is a 2-card play. Yeah, this Brawn might not be worth resing because the Begamot will deal with it. Biobance, sick. So this is where Benhar is. So this actually gives an on-sell if we want them to. This is really a bit much maybe into Mersha because we can end this run at any point. Wait, what? Oh, Benhar was on HQ. I shouldn't have resed that. F. Forgot about Benhar being on HQ. There's the Cacophony. Or like Bengamot, it's gone. Wait, did they lose Begamot? Oh my god, they lost Begamot. They have no breakers. They have no recursion. They literally can only do Cacophony. I don't think I realized that. London, how's it going? Show me Seamless? No shot. No, this deck's only on 2 Seamlesses. So we need to make them not steal, not trash. So HQ, it's likely they steal trash. We need to make sure they don't. They can't charge the Cacophony if we score the off-world because it doesn't have charges on it. So we will have to hit this with the... Do we know the top of the deck has a... We haven't seen our... What's it called? Our Scape Net. Yeah, Scape Net will eat the Cacophony. The list's on 2. That is the first Cacophony. So we got to think. We can double advance the off-world, drops us to 5. We can click for credit. The Tattoo Bola, they can't break at all. So literally R&D is safe. Oh no, they could go through it, but then we Mersha. So I think we have to put the on-sell on HQ. So we can Mersha onto HQ. So I think we just do advance credit. I forgot the top of the deck. Slots. I do like 3 Seamless, but slots. I'd probably use Seamless over a Greasing, I think. So now Tattoo doesn't do anything. Draw, spin, advance, grease, skunk. What's the top of the deck? Is it spin? Am I messing up? I totally forgot what the top of the deck is. I should definitely remember. Because especially if it's a spin, we can't trash it. Yeah, it's a Managarm. No, we drew the Managarm. It's a spin. Yeah, that's bad. I seriously considered 3 Seamless, but it's pre-advancing my early agendas and Seamlessing last. Finality? Oh, F. Hold on, we need to know the top of the deck. This run, we have to spend all our money to stop it, but we can. So it's not going to go through. So hold on, I need to know the top of the deck. So Greasing we just drew. No, what the hell? What's going on? So we drew a Greasing, right? And we threw it out to... No, what? What's on top of the deck? I think it's a Spin Doctor into a Vulnerability Audit. So I think we just trashed 2 from hand. If we fire on Cell Trash, they die? I don't think they die. Yeah, it's a spin to Vada. Okay. That tracks. Trash Marrow? Oh, if the unsell fires, yeah, it will fire. Yeah, this is lethal. Yeah, they lose the unsell and then we trash it. But they die. They die to unsell, you're right. We could res the Brawn here, but it's more fun to res the unsell. It also lets us to install something from the bin. So we could have trashed the Spin Doctor. Oh, this is very bad for our friend here. You're hoping on these 2 accesses? No, we just LEO. They don't touch anything. We 100% win. Not only can they not steal, we don't even... Yeah, you're right. They can't even steal. We don't have to LEO. Nice spine. Shame if I got it. All right, so we have trash installed runner card. So there goes your spine. Your -1 hand size. That's going to be a problem in about the end of this click. We'll install a card. So I guess we'll go get... I don't know. Tranquility is always good. And then they can't steal a trash. So they die to spine problem. God, they're not eating enough eggs. I need running hot to go first to have enough clicks for this. Say goodbye to your spine. Hey, look, if anything will like help you, it's eggs. If they're not eating enough eggs, so that's a spin doctor, that's a vulnerability audit, and then that's a internal spine error. So why Palu ran with so many clicks? Oh, very cool. Back problems. Hey, good game. Sorry about them back problems. Comes with age. I don't know if they realize they flatlined to that. That's very, very funny. Very, very funny. I think we could have like played a bit better. Like we knew the second finale was probably how they win, so we could have kept the Mersha there. That finale would have gone the other way. I saw 6 points in there. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I know the top 2 cards. So I knew the fun was there. But I can pop LEO to stop the run if I need to. So it's tricky. Yeah, it didn't come up. Literally at 0 points in time do we pop LEO. I don't know if our opponent's playing around it. Running last click means they're probably not. So like no matter what, that finality was kind of doomed. Because worst case, like at 6 we can res every single Biroid in the game besides tier, and then we can definitely just end the run. And then they have nothing. Admittedly, we have nothing, but yeah. Yeah, you lost your recursion and Begamon, huh? Uninstalling someone's spine is just the US medical system. I mean, look at this guy. He's got scalpels for hands. Patrick Goer. Got his sharp hands. Yeah, I don't, for what it's worth, Laura, I'm not an Ancel lover. I'm on a 1x Ancel. I like Drafter a lot. But the 2x Ancel is like, this is not a good ice on turn 1. So I'm not fully sold yet. Sometimes it'd be like that. Thanks for the game. Yeah, the Cacophony didn't do anything. I think this comes down earlier, we're maybe in a bad spot, but there was a couple trashes. Yeah, I like the Drafter. I'm also on 1x Ancel. I think I'm on at least a Drafter, maybe 2. I think for a while also I was on Hagen. I think Hagen's pretty hot into the meta right now. Yeah, without Ashen, it's hard. Yeah, I think without Ashen, they have no shot. The problem is like the mid to late game, it gets better and better and better for us. So they have to go a bit aggro. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just get the buffer. Cool. It's 3:42. We can do another game. What's Hagen for? The face checks, it's not bad. Like the strength is reasonable. It'll goof up Audrey and Botulus and Fermenter on our aggro face checks because the subroutines are relevant. Eats Chesvas. Shaper is a bit trickier to deal with it as well. It just has okay text and it's not a 1 strength barrier. Obviously really good in an Amakua world, but like it hits leeches. It just hits like incidental stuff and it's usually a 5 strength barrier in the early game. In the movies, Predators will rip out spines. Clearly that's one Cell is inspired by. I've got a Hagen for eggs. Hey, cheers. Thanks for the game. Yeah, if you're lost your Ashen and you think the game's going to go long, you should just put your buffer drive down. Not only does it allow you to get your cards back with Banhar, which is kind of valuable because they were losing key pieces, it just means that you can always buffer drive to put the Ashen on top of your deck and then just go again. It's slow, but it's like the best you have if you know you can't win because all your breakers are in the bin. If they get their breakers up, like the problem is they still can't deal with double... Like they just can't deal with what's it called at all, really. Double well, they sort of can. They can deal with double white space by doing Banhar Botulus. They just can't do it on the first turn it's rezzed. Lat. Okay. Lat. We have to beat Jamie. Oh, Lucy missed it. Best of luck. Have fun. All right, Lord Gatlander. What is he up to? I don't love this hand. Against Lat? I don't think they're playing Burner. He could be. Regolith is fine. Like maybe we do Regolith into Boomy and just say like hold and then empty our hand so it's hard to do Lat stuff. But like Lat can contest a single ice, right? Oh, if Lat takes core damage, though, they're cooked. That's a really good thing. It's like the Boomy has a scary face check. But I'm assuming you just click. Thanks for the reminder, just bought my cons ticket. Oh yeah, sick. If you want to buy your cons tickets, please grab them now. You only have about 5 days before the early bird ends. It ends on the 30th of June. We haven't showed what the early bird is yet. The prize, it's going to be a foil version of one of our promos. I'll talk about the promos on Thursday. I'll be able to show at least 2 of them. The third one is still sketching, in sketching right now, so it's going to take a bit of time to be done. But we'll be able to tell you who the artist is, and it's a very good artist, and all the art so far has been fantastic. So please grab that if you're considering it, because it gets just a bit more expensive. But the bigger thing for me, it's not the savings. It's that the more soon we know how many people are coming, the easier it is for us to adequately purchase the right amount of prize support and figure out how many judges we need and stuff like that. I've on good authority that early bird prizes have good conversion rates. Very good. I got to decide if I can bargain for a swing a solo trip. Jeff, please do it. I think it'll be sick. I know it's a hard time. Seamless, great. It's bizarre to me that none of the shapers want to play burner. Are we getting deep dive turn 1? I don't think we're stressed about that. I think it's harder with lat because hand size is a problem. Trash to Mersha. Okay, no deep dive. Digging up seekers from the testing group server. It's on an integer number of burners. All right. They didn't get their ability. We don't have to be full greed regolith, so we can MIC R&D. Ideally, we want MIC on the remote server. So, but this is pretty good into deep dive, which they have to be on. So I'm just going to put this on R&D and then take the regolith. They kept the coalescence. That's like not the worst thing to do. I don't know whether that means they're inherently like charge deck or not. In theory, they don't have to take this counter. They're not going to get punished for it. We'll split the difference there. Serious integer. Jeff, come to cons. Solman, you're making it up? You have your buy, right? I think you said you were. Can neither confirm nor deny whether the integer is 0. Cons early bird pricing has much better value than FFMTG collector packs. They're getting really expensive. I think the packs are like $100 now, which is like, it just keeps getting to be a worse parody of what it is. This is expensive for them, so we can push now. Simulchip into the coalescence is the play, so I don't know if we want to push the send a message on this board state, but if it gets stolen, it's scored. Okay, they get the LEO. Oh, it's getting worse. I want an ice. Fantastic. Welcome to the 3-point gang. Brought to you by this garbage agenda and seamless launch. I think it's so cool you can never advance 4-3s without text. I hate this card. Oh, I hate it. Okay, Simulchip doesn't really get anything here. So we can res the Boomy for the double click and then trash it. That will do nothing, so we'll just go for the Tattoo Bola. They have no access to breakers here. It's hard to come back because they want to click through this. So they install breaker run. I theory could like flicker the breaker if they have an SMC or something. Thinking about coming to Montreal with my partner. I've never been to it. Would it be fun to visit? But I do feel somewhat silly as a fairly new Netrunner player coming to such a competitive event. Oh my God, floating. If you can do it, do it. Again, I've need to say this so many times. Is like Mega Cities just happened. Hold on, this might be matter. Nice. Mega Cities just happened in Vancouver. Sure, a bunch of people traveled there. They were competitive players, but I imagine the majority of scene are folks who just came as an excuse to hang out to play Netrunner. This is going to be the biggest Netrunner event in North America this year, which means it's the best excuse to come out, hang out, meet people. Like the bigger the event is, the better it is to some extent if you don't think you're a competitive player, because the more likely you are to find someone of exactly your skill level. I cannot recommend it enough. Obviously, I'm biased because I want people to come to the event that we're running, but it's like, it is not for competitive players. There will be competitive players here. Those will be like 25% of the field, 40% of the field at worst, if you want to use that tone. Yeah, Swiss self-sorts. You'll lose your first 2 rounds. And then after that, you'll have a like, not that you won't have a fine time losing your round against like, I don't know, the world champ is coming in, right? I mean, I don't love scoring this. Anyways, I've said this so many times on the channel and I'm happy to repeat it, but like events are not only for or competitive players, especially the bigger events. They're literally an excuse to travel and hang out. If your partner comes too, we probably should have a channel in the Discord so that like family and partners can meet each other, but we'll have a lot of recommendations of things to do in the city that are clearly not Netrunner based. For competitive players. I think we need to consider rebranding tournaments to have the word open in them. North American Open sounds a lot more than American Continental Championships. Yeah. Yeah, I can see the value to that. That's very encouraging, convincing. Thanks, Hunter. Yeah, if you have any questions, please ask. But like, I promise you, the majority of people at any event are not there to win it. They're there because it's fun. It is a very countable percentage of people who are there to be like, I came here and I trained to win. Sometimes you think you're not a competitive player and you snag a win against a world champ. Hey, that'll happen too. That'll happen as well. Like some people don't have. I've talked to a lot of people that was their first event going to Worlds, and they're like, "Oh, I actually did like top half." I'm like, "Yeah, sick. Had a good time." All right, we can bluff them a virus. At this point, they should be able to contest the server. I haven't been paying too much attention. Apologies. This server is not that hard to deal with. They have to break a tattoo bullet twice and then eat a boomy once. The Mitra means that we can make a boomy 3 times, but to send a message, we can't really jam. So let's draw once for a thing. We found a thing, and we'll just keep our hand size low. The vast majority of people in the tournament will in fact not win. Huge if true. It's like winning has a terrible conversion rate, and yet somehow people are like convinced. It's literally like gambling at this point. Everyone's like, someone's got to win the lotto, and like sometimes they don't. Some events nobody wins. You know, it's like, hey Rahit, I've been playing some of the Bangan deck from last week. It's a bit terrible. It's kind of hilarious how resistant to deep dive that Agenda Suite is. Yes, we have seen that where they're like, oh, I guess I'll take a point. I'll take 2 points if I spend my whole turn. The problem is like, it doesn't do anything against deep dive, but there's something cool to that deck. I think that's for sure. Hopefully you're well, Rahit. Yeah, community's the best part of Netrunner, for sure, for sure. You'll go out, you'll meet some people, you have some good food. The city's also fantastic. If you can stay longer than the 3 days, Montreal is very, very special. Specifically, if you are a North American and you have not been to Europe. That's like a weird caveat, but that's like entirely true. It's a very different North American city to what a lot of people are used to. Okay, we can force a lot of weird problems here. The issue is whatever breaks this tattoo bullet breaks it on the second time over. At the end of the day, I don't think we care. Because no matter what, we're going forward on credit land. Does this boomy not just connect? I'm exactly the demographic. Oh my god, it's going to be nice. Pay 4, yeah. So we don't do the Mitra. We might have done this wrong. Let's see what happens here. We might have done that wrong. I've been to Germany once, but that's it. I mean, that's pretty good. SMC, we'll see if this is a revolver. If you're getting an echelon here, it's going to not be good. Okay, that's good. So we throw the boomy at him. He can't trash both of these. Can make this another tattoo. Yeah. I was assuming we'd break this and then he runs back. I think we throw this because we have the Mitra. So I think we just toss this. And then have a Mitra. So if he wants to come back, it's an MIC. We can also MIC into a Tattoo Bola and Tattoo Bola for an MIC. No, that's convoluted, but we can just make this an MIC. And running Last Click is a bit scary. So unfortunately, this is a bad MIC res, but we just need a res and MIC. Otherwise, we can Mitra for the boomy back. He breaks that for 2. Not great, but we need this to happen and we can recover with Rego. And he's not getting Glad Draw. Okay. Sick. So maybe we get Pinhold again, but I'm assuming that we just want to do... I think we just recover. You can Mitra and not swap. Yeah, ideally we do though, because we're currently not showing that we have a Biroid and we can always get a Biroid, which is kind of cute. I think we just take 9. If we take 6, we can get an install, but I think money's the priority here because we have to still like prevent deep dive. And then next turn, hopefully we draw like I need the 3rd seamless because I can't do anything with a send a message. Yeah, if we wanted to 3 right there, we could 3, but I think the Mitra is actually pretty good. That's why we went to trash the boomy. We're going to need a second ice and probably just a bluff from a virus. Oh, that's not great. Oh, okay. I wonder if they don't cup that. Yeah, maybe they come back. This can sweep the hand. It's most of the turn. Ah, Arbola. Now they don't want to sweep the hand. I don't mind this. If they take a send a message and we get an MIC, I think that's fine. It puts us like in a bad spot against deep dive, but we're the better ID against deep dive. Let's see if they use the cup. They don't, and they lose the 50-50. That's so sick. What does this do in the matchup? Chip or virtual? Okay. So not good here. So we could do send a message, advance. I think we put the send a message in their mode server because they're going to cup this turn if we don't. So maybe do Regolith, Boomy, Sam. And then just make it very uncomfortable for Lat. I think it's going to be hard for them to deal with MIC unless they're on Vizarum, because like I guess Unity is not that bad, but it's still like 5 credits for Unity, and then they install the Unity. Escaping as a simulchip is funny. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of the simulchip if it's just on the table for 1 credit. Lad has link, but like the math on this just doesn't make any sense for anyone. Top deck seamless would be okay, but we'll do double advance and hopefully not res the MIC. They could be on. Nah, it's probably just chip. You're right. I think DZ's also chip. But yeah, it's probably just simulchip, which is like worth something. They're on Revolver. They're on Compilation. Yeah, Lat has link. All of the runners and ashes have link. DZ's not a chip. What? What's the DZ? Nothing? I assumed it would be a chip. It's nothing. I guess it's not a chip. I'm just used to MU cards being a chip. I guess this is more like the Waldo. Yeah, okay. So they have to run for this? Ah, it has nuance. So we can do install, advance. Yeah, I think we're good to do that. And we'll get one of these resed. Again, this, we can remove it from the game, which is valuable. It's his exoskeleton. Yeah, I think it's the Waldo. Which I think is the sci-fi name for the sort of exoskeleton rig. The remote rig. DZ is a person you hire to optimize for you. It just lists his hardware for tax purposes. Everyone has a good DZ. I've been hearing it in American like content creators that the proliferation of Canadian talk calling it DZMZ has been like locking in places, and it makes me so happy. It sounds so much better than DZMZ. Fermenter for 4, we've been seeing that a fair bit. I mean, if you need to get your environmental testing down, you need to get your environmental testing down, but it's like really bad. Called Dismiz locally. It's your fault. I mean, Zed is a good word. It's not confused. Like the issue is all the letters sound the same. C, D, Z. It's like nobody knows what you're saying. So like just fix it. Call it Zed. DZMZ Opti Mopti. All right. We'll score out. We dropped to 5, so we can't threaten. I'd rather have the Brawn. They can break the Brawn. Actually, I'd rather have the MIC. Surprise Brawn's a bit more impactful. This we can't trash in the run. So maybe we go for the Brawn. Will they deep dive this turn? I mean, it's not likely. They're going to have a lot of credits. These nuts just goes away with the Z comes in. Rude. DZ nuts. This choice is interesting. They're going to have all the money in the world because they'll simulchip for stuff. They maybe could have grabbed their Fermenter that turn, if I'm not mistaken. The Brawn is good because of the Brawn. I'll do that. These guys are perforated my entire American play group. Let's go. DZMZ is the exoskeleton. Isn't the exoskeleton. It's a chip he's able to make using his exoskeleton to be able to make precise modifications. Wait, has somebody read the flavor text like a total nerd? Dao exhaled. Med exoskeleton faithfully stabilizing him. In that absent breath, he reached through layers of Waldos and optimizers and plucked the errant molecule from the chip. The fuck, NSG? Okay, I want to be very clear. This might not be the chip in DZ. The DZ could still be the med exoskeleton. It could be like the subject or the object of the sentence. Okay, right? Like that's not too damning. I just mean, imagine writing chip on a card and it not being there. Shit, we're on 6 points. Oh, I'm sorry. You've activated my escape net trap card. Fuck, I wanted that. Dao is the oh, never mind. All is good in the world. Okay, so they functionally have 1,700 credits. I think we do it. I think we just do it. I think we put Spin Doctor in their mode server and we just do it. Yeah. Do something this turn. That feels good. Honestly, I think the game would be better with more counter spells. Just cards that say, sorry, you ran, I trash your board state. We should have as many of those Netrunner as we can get. Because it's interactive, right? Like, you ran, I destroy your card. It just feels good. It was good. Pentagraph is a standalone weird thing, not Pentagraph is the arm. That's like the full remote Waldo arm. I think Waldo means it's remote. I think I've been using that term wrong. Oh my god, why do I have so many messages? That's probably fine. Reprint Trojan Horse. I mean, reprint worse cards. Just put trace on anything, then it becomes fair. Like, it's an interaction card as long as it has trace. Dude, don't look at the number. As long as it has trace on it, it's an interaction card. I think they're pinholing the upgrade. Yeah. The weak might have cracked the Spin Doctor, not the hardy. Imagine paying 3 for this. A Hunter Seeker, make it on success. Yeah, make it threat 1. So it functionally has no text. Okay, I think we just need to force credits out. If we force this, do we force any credits out? We're already spending real credits because we have to do 3, 4, 5. So this will become 6, 7. So if we res this, we're spending real pocket money. Yeah, fine. I think we just need to get cards resed. We have a money problem no matter how we cut it. Maybe we shouldn't have done this because we can top deck a hedge fund and we've only seen one. Forever playing with Mitra and Thunderbolt, blue for some interesting hits. Yeah, I did a bit of it. It seemed kind of okay. I don't even think they have to run this now because like we have no hand, and if we have no hand, this can't be seamless. There's like no 3-2 we're playing. They can run back on HQ. That's a great draw. But yeah, I was playing with Stavka. Stavka with Mitra is pretty messed up in that deck. Please don't make more operations that only do something at threat thresholds. I have to award a game loss to someone fired measured at threat 3. Oh, I like that. I honestly, I don't mind that. I think that's kind of cool. Sorry about that. What was the hard calls? Were there harder calls? Good run on HQ here because you get the light draw too. Greasing. Oh, they used the whole hand. Okay, sick. Now they're like really gassed out. I mean, I think we do it. Like, they have to run the server twice. This is so goofy. God, LEO is fun. They're on 1 credit. They can simul chip to go +4, but they have to run this functionally twice. Once for LEO Boomy, once for MIC. You have Mitra way too much? It's been really good. Oh, that's a good card to have in your hand. It's genuinely been very good. Even if they steal this, we're not upset. Is that a game loss? Seems like a legal action, such as breaking a barrier with the decoder. It's the sort of thing that like might be on both players, but I don't know what you're meant to do there. The game was the hardest call, and mostly because the table figured out after everyone shuffled up the cards. Oh, piss. That's awkward. Okay, so let's talk this through. Oh, did they break all of it? Wait, did you break all of MSE? Oh, no, they did. Okay. So they'll be on 0 credits. They can simul chip. Then they just have to break the MIC. So they have 1 click left. No, we just boomy them. What about an egg? Today we were doing some egg gaming, Luna. How's it going? We egged out though. We over egged. So now they can go for a coalescence and run back. So they are they can't do it because it has MIC text. So yeah, we win. They can click all the buttons, but we're gonna end with a very perfect board state. Goodbye. Bye now. Yeah, this new board control is weird. Good game. Yeah, so that went fast. Thanks for the game. But like, they're not putting on pressure. Like, that's the big thing. Besides the compilation, like, we just ignore them on centrals. We just prevent deep dive and push in the remote server. That's very different from Criminal. And against Asa too, we have to fight a bit harder. Beans. But yeah, that is the sort of thing. This sort of deck wants the corporation to go slow. We're just going to say we're going to jam, get an upgrade, get 2 ice, have the LEO ability, and then force them to keep up with our speed. Because otherwise they play setup Netrunner and it slows down. But that's the thing, is like we didn't have to ice this. We res no ice on RD functionally. We got a free res. And we just put everything in the remote server. And we drew really well. Like we drew exactly what we wanted. We drew 2 Regoliths. We top decked the Spin Doctor we wanted. The Scape Net actually was relevant. Might not have been relevant. Could have been relevant. Felt relevant. We opened with a Tattoo. We had a Mitra. Like we drew hot. 2 Lily, 2 DZ, 3 Speckers would have helped a ton. Oh, for sure. Melee deck suffered the most early and often pressure. Exactly, yeah. Early pressure, really hard. You have to stabilize. The first game we played was like a disaster for that, as much as we clawed it back. But against Shaper, there's no early pressure. So you can get away with this sort of like push. We were holding a 3-pointer in an open HQ. Like that's the thing that we can do. We can hold a 3-pointer in an open HQ with 3 cards and say, I don't think you're running HQ. And they usually don't. Ended up with a click for 2 credits with Cole with the minimal synergy. Pricism felt rough. Oh, synergy pieces felt rough. Yeah. If you start the what's it called? The testing was pretty fast. I think the coupulation might have been an overextension, but maybe you need to sweep HQ before the remote gets bad. It forced me to push this, Sam. Start with Alku. Hence egg too. If it was me and they shuffled up after MR, I'd call it 5.15 and let the results stand, I think. Metrowag says trans rights. Metrowag Grid, we don't say trans rights. Like, obviously, it's very clear that I hope it's clear that we say trans rights. Thanks for asking. If you look at Leo's art the right way, there's also an egg. It is a pretty big egg there. I need to either set up earlier or interact early in my draw. Did neither. Does Sam sit in hand at all? Yeah. Hold early game. With like 3 cards. I don't think you're running that. It was in the opening. Primo. He said the thing. Oh man. Yeah, we just had it in the opening. We're holding. Just missing that touch. But yeah, you kept hitting seamless. Yeah, if they stole the off-world, I don't think we mind. It just like fixes our R&D problem or reses a free MIC. The one turn that we got the weird like Mitra flip into Boomy flip was actually like pretty cool. That was pretty hype. Didn't miss a 50-50 at one point? Oh yeah, at one point you're right. It was a 50-50. There was a straight 50-50. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, thanks for the game. Yeah, it just seems like a clumsy lat draw, a lat opening. And we had a very good draw. Low egg orb. Cheers. All right. I think we're going to be calling it there. We'll be back on just tomorrow. 2 days in a row. Wow, what a treat. Sorry about yesterday. Again, if you are looking for the stream, it didn't exist. It was 44 degrees Celsius here yesterday, and we kept losing power. Pretty wild that we haven't lost power today so far, but it's cooling down already today. It's just a balmy 30. Does balmy mean hot? I think it means hot. It's just a cool 32 today to 34, and tomorrow's going to be even colder. So we'll get to that. Decklist of the week tomorrow is something we've played before on the stream. We're just such taste makers up here on RNDB. So we'll come back to that for sure. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to show off some of the arts from Continentals. That'd be quite nice. I'll double check with the other organizers whether we can announce the artists and what the cards that are going to be there. We can show off a couple of them. And that's mostly it, really. We can forgive you for yesterday. Egg 1 was more than worth it. Sorry that I had to put it unlisted, but I went to put it unlisted, but it will remain there. If you have the egg link, you have the egg link. And you can use it for an egg timer. They'll be incredibly soft boiled to the point that probably would watch the video maybe once and a half, but egg 3 incoming. Thanks to all these names here and more that allow us to stream on the channel, to do all this sort of stuff, video content and that sort of thing. There's a lot of stuff to watch this weekend if you want to catch up. We'll have links to most of that in the description. There was an AMT that was streamed on like 2 different channels. There was Eternal. There was, of course, the Canadian mega cities on the West Coast. So we'll have all those links in the description. You just need to hit more on YouTube if you want to sort out some other stuff to watch. Thanks so much to these names. Again, we have a bunch of daily cast patrons if you just want to support the channel as well. Their names unfortunately don't show up here, but that's definitely an option. You can find the Patreon link in the description down below. Otherwise, if you want to take a second just to like the video, the stream, the VOD, that helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel, share with friends, all that sort of stuff helps a heck of a lot too. Just how YouTube works for sure. If anyone comes to your door and asks if you have any good opinions about eggs, please just positive opinions. That'd be really nice. The survey financially is attached to my financial success as well. So just please say good stuff about the eggs, that you like the eggs and you will buy more eggs in the near to far future. that's mostly it. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. I'll be back in the next one. Ciao.